chillin', serial killing, pre-core villains on the mic, got you reeling. 5-star rated from the floor to the ceiling. If you catch a 1-star, no time for feelings. Got a demon DJ on the ones and twos, by the name Beelzebub, so don't get confused. So grab a seat by the fire, roast them all over two, and prepare to hear the legend of the Straight Chillin' Crew.
What up, nerds? And welcome to another black and white episode of Straight Chilling, the weekly horror movie review show where you chill and we kill, slice, dice, and chop up 3 movies. My name is Bob. I'll be your host for the evening. This is episode 551, recorded on Sunday, October 26th, 2025. Tonight, it's our big triple stuffed Halloween episode. Happy Halloween to everybody out there. We're talking about 3 Universal monster movies. They are Frankenstein, The Invisible Man, and The Wolfman. Before we get into it, let me introduce everyone else on the show. First up, calling in from Washington, D.C., we got your boy, Brand Diesel. What's up, Randy?
It's alive! It's alive!
I'm alive! What's going on, buddy? You ready to talk about some fucking stone cold motherfucking classics right here?
Stone Cold Steve Austin starring in all 3 of these films, if you were unaware.
Yes, right.
Now you know.
He's gonna go wild on your cracker ass.
He is. He's pouring Coors Light all over that corpse, and Frankenstein just wakes up, bolts upright. You love to see it. It is alive.
Give me a hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Last but not least, calling in from Seoul, South Korea, we got Shaboy Soju. What's up, man?
What up? It's your boy Frankensteins, aka the Halloween champion, boys. All right, 4 years running. Here we go.
Congratulations. Actually, in honor of that, I made a game time decision. Congrats on your 4th victory. And because of that, I'm going to be drinking not a pumpkin beer tonight, but instead a lovely pineapple soju that I've been waiting
in honor. All right.
Well done.
I'm a basic
Thank
bitch
you, sir.
just drinking a pumpkin beer. I'm
You're about to get tore up, Randy.
PSL loser. What's that?
You're about to get tore up.
I mean, it wouldn't be Halloween without it.
From the floor up. Dude, if they had a pumpkin soju, that would be fire.
Whoa.
I don't think there's an if. I'm sure it must exist somewhere.
I'm going to brew it. That's going to be my signature soju.
In your
the Halloween soju.
The PSL soju.
Made by Soju the Man.
Soju the is that like Portugal?
That's gonna be my soju brand. I'm gonna have my own
Soju the Man's soju.
Soju the Man soju.
The human being. It won't confuse anybody. It's very clear.
I think it's clear. Branding 101. You just gotta repeat that name. You just gotta get it in there.
Barkeep, may I get a Soju the Man soju, please? Pumpkin flavor.
Soju flavored soju from Soju the Man.
I need a pumpkin flavored the Man soju. I mean Soju the Man.
Soju the
pumpkins.
You know what I'm saying. You know.
Pumpkins.
Yes. Right. Hit it while you can, Randy. Get it in.
Yep. I'm getting them in there.
Get it in. All right. Yes. Juice won all 4 of our polls, our like mystery triple feature polls that we've been doing over the past few years. He has somehow won every single time, which is
already planning
insane.
Next year, boys. Got to keep that streak alive.
We did get a voicemail, which if we have time to get to the voicemails, we'll get to them. But somebody did leave a voicemail. One of the things they were asking is if we would divulge what the other 2 mystery triple features were. Randy, do you want to spill those beans, or you want to hold on to them?
I kind of feel like we should hold on to them. I feel like maybe, and this is me floating an idea live on the air. Next year we do the also rans as our picks.
The what?
The also
like the ones that didn't win. We go back through the catalog of themes.
I don't have any choices there.
Yes, indeed. That is
you got to sit it out, dog. Whoops.
I veto this.
All right.
I don't believe that. I believe majority rules, my man. At least for the moment. At least for another, couple months.
Veto this. All right, let's get into a little bit of housekeeping before we hit these 3 films. We do have our November poll currently posted on our Patreon website. If you guys support us at the $5 level or above, you get the chance to vote on a movie we're talking about this November. The theme for November is Cornfields. We got 3 films prominently featuring cornfields. The movies are Children of the Corn, Jeepers Creepers, and Freddy vs. Jason.
Whoa, Bob, heading into the last week of October. This is it. Polls closing, Halloween shutting down. How are those numbers looking?
Man, it's so sad.
This is sad.
The numbers have shifted slightly. Last place, still Children of the Corn with 27% of the vote. Jeepers Creepers, second place with 31% of the vote. Freddy vs. Jason still in the lead with 42% of the vote.
Whoa, seems like it got a little bump there.
Little bumper-rooney.
Cool. Good.
Fred VJ. Get those votes
I'm looking
in.
forward to that. Yeah, wait, what is it? Cornfields, right? That's
Yeah.
yeah, that's appropriate.
Cornfields. We did
for
not get clever
Thanksgiving.
with that name.
Just cornfields. It's just cornfields.
That's cornfields.
Cornfields.
It's cornfields.
In the middle of
What?
October,
What do you
we're,
want from us?
we're just
We
we're
want
on
to go for a shuck pun. I
got
don't know.
nothing.
I don't think so.
November cornfields.
Yeah.
Take it or leave it.
Shuck me.
If you don't like it,
Just the way.
get out.
Get those votes in over the next few days. We'll see what movie we're talking about this November. We're still dropping minicast every single Friday over on our Patreon. Our final minicast of October dropping on Halloween Day. This is from your boy Rand Diesel talking about Hell House LLC Lineage.
Oh, shit.
What a name.
Yeah, man. That's right. This is going to be an episode that I recorded a good while ago now and forgot all about.
Here it is. Coming out.
There it is.
It's all
I'll
happening.
bet it's great. That's my
It
wager.
usually is.
Yeah, and that just hit
Always.
Shudder, I believe, or it's about to hit Shudder. It's either on there or it's like just about to drop. I forget exactly when it's coming out, but you can check that out. I think they have like all 5 Hell House movies. There's a lot of them, and then check out Randy's thoughts after you watch that film. In other Patreon news, we have one brand new Patreon supporter we got to give mad shouts outs to. This one is we finally are hearing from our boy Harry Wiener.
Oh, finally.
can't-
I've been waiting for that guy.
I've been
to
hearing
show
from
up.
that since middle school, my friend. I don't know.
Oh, middle school. What a flex. Yeah. Big thanks to our boy Harry Wiener for signing up on Patreon, showing us some love. We owe you the straight chilling salute. This one goes out to Harry Wiener.
Slap me in the ass.
Thanks, Harry, for the
Thanks, my guy.
ass slap.
I'm going to have to remember that's considered a flex somehow.
Randy is pounding that pineapple soju. Good God, dude.
We
You
got
just did
3
2
hours
shots
of
back
this.
to back.
Shit tastes like
what the-
candy. Look, I've got multiple.
Oh, Randy's
drinks
got
on hand.
multiples.
It's going to be
I
fun.
get tore up.
Randy's just over here having
This might be
multiples.
another Red Stag episode right here.
Love to see it.
I don't
Creepy.
react to soju on the same level as other people. Okay, a little tolerant. Okay.
we're not
Okay.
fighting.
What a
All right, I got this under
flex!
control. I got this under control. Since middle
Randy's-
school, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Covered in hair, just drinking soju like water. Big thanks, Harry Wiener.
By the end of this, I'm going to sound like this.
Randy just is the Wolfman by the end of the show.
We don't know. Is it Wolfmang or is it Randy Mang?
Sasquatch Mang. The last thing I got here is just a big, gigantic thank you to everybody who was able to make it for the 5th annual Chilloween party this past Friday. Awesome hanging out with all you guys. A big, gigantic thank you to Caitlin from Plug It Up Podcast for hosting our trivia. And shouts outs to everybody who was able to make it and hang out. Yeah, we had a great time.
That's true.
Yeah.
Man, that was a nice turnout. Some excellent costumes and some prizes going out to some of those folks real soon. So
Yeah.
keep an eye out for that, dear sweet winners who have been notified.
Some killer stooms on the call there. You love to see it. All right. Yeah, that's all I have. Do you guys have anything you need to plug?
Yeah, just want to give a big shouts outs to everyone who came out to our yearly Halloween party this year. It was a huge turnout. It was a lot of fun, big success, and shouts outs to everyone. Sean from Dark Side of Soul, his book was released that day, and He was there helping out with all the games, and that was a lot of fun. And shouts outs to Joey, who owns the DCC, for hosting and putting everything together and making signature cocktails. We had our signature straight chilling cocktail there again. Had a couple of those. Had some gummy worms in it this year. It was very delicious.
Is it like half Malort, half Red Stag? Drop a gummy worm in it.
It is
and
red.
A gummy worm.
No, that's the RFK Jr.
Oh, my Lord. But no, yeah, it was a ton of fun. Thanks to everyone who came out for trivia. Trivia was a big success. And yeah, got to give out some fun Halloween gift prizes and stuff. And it was a good celebration of the season. So thanks to everyone who came out.
I'm always super jealous. It always looks like a lot of fun.
It was a lot of
glad
fun.
You guys had a good time.
Packed this year. Like,
I saw.
like moving tables and shit. It was a lot of fun though.
Gotta make a little extra room for the orgy.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Assholes and
Halloween
elbows.
orgy.
Man, damn.
I see it
It's the
every
best
day.
one of the year.
It is the best. It's my favorite orgy of the year.
I know it
Oh,
is,
yeah.
Bob.
comes
I've been-
Halloween. Am I right?
You're right, Bob.
Damn it!
You are right, Bob.
You are correct,
Famously correct.
boys.
I always say that.
I
that
say-
you're right.
I say it every day. You know, Bob's right. You know,
My boy Bob, he's pretty right most of the time.
are we clean? Are we squeaky?
I think we're clean.
We're clean.
Nice.
Here we go.
This house is clean.
All right, let's get in the main event. We're kicking it off with ya boy Frankenmang with the back of the box.
What's on the back of the box?
Whoa, Randu.
There it is.
Yeah.
Man,
Your-
I never
your
get
hand-
the whoa.
I know you're handling it this week, but I don't think
was excited.
you have this box. Probably not.
I don't. I toyed with the idea of finally getting that whatever that Blu-ray big, like the classics 50 movie collection that came out a little bit ago.
Hell
you know,
yeah.
Bob knows what I'm talking about.
Oh.
This guy knows what I'm fucking talking about.
Physical media.
Oh,
But you can only count it as one, though. It's just one purchase,
one.
so it
It's just the
averages
one
at like $4. You know, because it's just one
disc.
purchase.
I think it's
You
important
gotta
that you
average
guys
it out.
figure this out before we move on.
It's simple math.
This 50 movies, you can only count that as one. I mean, it was $4.
You average it out.
Where did Bob go wrong? Were he and his friends sifting way too long through those Blu-ray bins? And it gets worse, he'll have no jet ski, wasting all his dough on those DVDs.
All right. Shut up about physical media already. All right. I don't own the box. I'm reading off IMDb. I rented it like any good red-blooded American man should,
Rented it.
and streamed it.
Oh, okay.
Digital rent. Whatever you want to fucking call it. It's the right thing to do. Anyway, here's what IMDb says as their back of the box entry. Dr. Henry Frankenstein is obsessed with assembling a living being from parts of several exhumed corpses. Straight and to the point there.
There you go.
Nice. 1931, the OG.
Yeah.
OG. I love how all these movies are like just over an hour long.
Oh, it was beautiful.
Nice and
Having to
short.
watch
It's
three
not a bad
movies.
thing.
They're just like what, an hour, 10 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Now, like boom, boom.
Yeah.
It's great.
You love to see it. Obviously based on Mary Shelley's famous ass novel,
Loosely.
loosely.
Yeah.
Quite loosely. Yeah.
Oh, it's got the name. They got that
Directed
one.
by James Whale. This and The Invisible Man. James Whale. We'll talk about him a little bit. And who's in this, Randy? Who stars in this film?
Oh, you want to know who's in this?
You gotta let me
question mark as the monster, as we all know.
We know.
Colin Clive as our Dr. Henry Frankenstein. Mae Clark as our Elizabeth. John Bowles as the character-free character Victor, who's just a guy that happens to be there sometimes. And then Dr. Waldman, it was Edward Van Sloan. That's probably the principal cast there.
Yeah.
Of
Boris
course,
Karloff.
question mark equals Boris Karloff.
The question
Yes.
mark, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Boys, have you seen this before? Bob, kick us up.
Thank you, Just. Yeah, I'd seen this at least once before, probably a couple times, not a whole heck of a lot. It's not something that I grew up with or anything like that. I did not grow up watching any of these movies. I think probably watched these for the first time in my 20s. So seen it a few times, definitely would recommend it. I mean, if you're a horror head, it's sort of like mandatory viewing to give all these Universal monster movies at least a once over, you know, because they're just like so incredibly influential. Yeah, treat yourself. I'd recommend it. Yeah. Juice, what about you?
I had seen this only once before. I think it was about 2 years ago now. My Halloween run for the year was a bunch of these old Universal monster films that I'd never seen before, and just like old school stuff from the 30s, not exclusively Universal monsters, but I did watch this one, Bride of Frankenstein, stuff like that. And yeah, so I think I was a little nervous because you don't know how something from 100 years is going to kind of hold up, and it's got so much reputation around it. I mean, it's parodied to death, and there's just, you know, so many just iterations of it and stuff like that. But I actually thought at the time, and even still today, that it held up quite well, and that people should check it out. I mean, even just not even necessarily just horror fans. I think that this is a classic cinema, you know,
Cinema
and a cultural icon. So yeah, I think people should check this out, especially around spooky season. I think keeping some kind of tradition of life, throwing these old black and white horror films on monster movies for the Halloween season is perfect. So yeah, I would recommend people check
I
this
just get
out.
so excited about all that boogeyman bullshit.
Boogeyman bullshit. Randy, had you seen this before? Would you recommend people check it out?
I have seen this film. I want to say, I think my answer is going to be very similar to Bob's. It was probably twice. I think I saw it once when I was maybe like 10 or 11 and on an AMC horror, whatever, their horror marathons they did around Halloween back in the day. They might still, I don't know. I don't have cable. But yeah, I didn't have like a real strong connection with it then. So I revisited it and sat down and intentionally watched it along with a few of these other Universal classic monster movies, probably around the same time you did, Bob, in my 20s sometime. And yeah, I mean, I kind of feel the same way. It's a little bit like eating your greens. Like, I think your mileage may vary as people removed 100 years from the source material and having also seen every possible variation on this just about done to death. It's a little bit harder to go back to the well on this one, I would say, than some of the other ones we're going to talk about tonight, which were relatively fresh to me. But yeah, I think it's necessary viewing. You know, get the ground level, get your your baseline for what Frankenstein culturally is. And yeah, like to Juice's point, yeah, it does hold up for what it is. For being 100 years old, you could do. It could be a whole hell of a lot worse, but it's nice, tight, compact story. And we'll go through all the other like positives and negatives here in a second. But generally, yes, I would recommend it's at least homework, and at best, it's a movie you're going to enjoy quite a bit.
Yeah, it does have an element of like feels like you're doing your homework a little bit, but especially because just the story of Frankenstein is like everybody knows it. It's inescapable. You're just so infinitely aware of it. But yeah, check it out. That sounds like just a straight up recommend, not even loose at all.
That's
really.
just a solid recommend.
Solid recommend from the Straight Chilling crew. We're going to be spoiling Frankenstein, I guess. Like, you know what happens, but
we're going to try our damnedest.
Here comes your warning.
Spoiler warning.
Randu, whoa, got that plot synopsis.
I do have a plop synopsis. Plopped it out this afternoon. Here we go.
All right.
We open on a funeral. that is secretly observed by the manic scientist Dr. Henry Frankenstein and his lab assistant Fritz. After the proceedings, they dig up the corpse that was buried, and cart it back to their laboratory. From there, Fritz is tasked with breaking into a medical college where a Dr. Waldman is seen teaching. Under cover of night, Fritz breaks in and steals a brain that's labeled abnormal. Meanwhile, the doctor's fiance, that's Dr. Frankenstein's fiance, rather, Elizabeth, draws concern that the doctor's obsessive and isolated research, which he insists must be completed before they are to be wed. She approaches his friend Victor and their old professor, Dr. Waldman, and the three set off to the doctor's secluded tower lab and try to speak sense to him. As a large lightning storm begins, Dr. Frankenstein prepares to utilize the lightning in his mysterious experiment. It is at this very moment that Elizabeth, Victor, and Dr. Waldman arrive and insist to be let in. After protesting, Dr. Frankenstein eventually relents. He insists on showing them his experiment's focus, a patchwork corpse, which he intends to jolt back to life with a lightning bolt. As the experiment then proceeds and shockingly works. The corpse is revived by the lightning bolt. To the three visitors' horror, Dr. Frankenstein is elated, and Fritz takes this opportunity to taunt the creature, threatening him with a fiery torch. Upon becoming violent, the men lock the creature away. Sometime later, Fritz taunts the monster again, which angers him, and he kills Fritz by hanging. The doctors attempt to use sedatives to subdue the creature, and this works for a time. The men then determine that the creature must be killed. The doctor, that's Dr. Frankenstein. I don't know why I wrote the doctor for him. There's two doctors here. The doctor and Elizabeth leave to prepare for their wedding, and Dr. Walden is tasked with ending the creature's new life. However, Dr. Walden, too, is killed, and the monster escapes from the lab. He wanders the countryside and eventually encounters a young girl named Maria, who invites him to play. The two enjoy picking flowers and tossing them into a lake until the creature, in ignorance, throws the little girl into the lake as well, killing her. As Henry and Elizabeth prepare for their wedding day, Maria's father carries the young girl's corpse to the proceedings, frightening and enraging all the villagers. At the direction of the burgomaster, the villagers raise their torches and pitchforks and begin a sweeping hunt of the countryside. As this happens, the creature finds his way into Elizabeth's wedding chambers and attacks her. She is found shortly after alive, though unconscious. As the search continues, Dr. Frankenstein is taken by surprise and knocked out by the creature. The creature takes the doctor to a secluded windmill and holes up there. The two fight, and Henry is knocked out and falls from the structure. The villagers then set fire to the windmill. The creature is trapped and dies among the flames. Maybe. The doctor survives and is cared for at his family estate, where his father and their servants toast to the future of the Frankenstein family. Roll credits. There you go.
What an ending, man.
Cheers
to the Frankenstein.
He's alive and all is well. Just one little girl and a couple of people dead. No big deal.
His dad is a piece of shit. I mean,
his dad is like aloof fucking weirdo.
When he's drinking that wine, he's like, "Oh, don't waste it on the staff,
the servants."
Dude, I know.
Yeah, it's like, God damn.
Little daddy.
God damn.
I will say it's such a weird choice. And one thing that's very frustrating to me, there's some particular choices that I'm going to kind of bitch about today. I'm going to mostly praise this movie because it is really cool to go back and revisit it. But one thing that just really doesn't make a lick of sense to me is, so in the original novel, the character's name is Victor Frankenstein.
Yeah.
They change it to Henry, which is okay, I guess, except that they have another character, his fucking friend, whose name is Victor.
Yeah.
Why
and who
would you do
accomplishes
that?
nothing throughout the entire
Why would you do that? Why would you fucking do that?
It's confusing. You're like, wait a minute, what the fuck? Who?
Yeah.
It is very confusing. Like, I don't know. Like, even now, because I've seen Young Frankenstein far more than I've seen this film, and I like the source material has been adapted usually with the name Victor Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Like, I can't. Like, I have a hard time watching this for that reason. It is annoying. I did read part of the trivia is that I guess they just thought American audiences would think the name Victor was too severe, just too much.
Severe.
Audiences aren't ready for Victor.
What?
But there's
they
still a
literally-
character
There's still
named-
another victim.
I know.
What the fuck?
There's a damn
They should have just called him Hanky
Burgermeister in
Panky
there, but
Frankenstein.
Victor is...
That should have been his name, so that American audiences wouldn't be terrified by the name Victor.
God damn, dude.
We just aren't ready for
Weird.
them V names.
But then they just concluded it anyway. I don't know.
Yeah, and there's Victor. But yeah,
Call
I will
Vic.
say that the sets in this are one of the things that are fucking awesome. I really do love the sets. The windmill is such a fucking cool setting for this. And I'm so the black and white of this, especially, you know, all three films that we're watching tonight are black and white, but I don't know, something about this one. I don't really know anything about, you know, the filming process or why something would look different, the lighting, I guess, but something about this black and white just looked richer to me than the other two films that we're going to talk about tonight. It just like looks fantastic still. And some of it's because of the scenes that are set up. I know the I think the opening scene where there's like a corpse hanging and just the graveyard and they go dig up the corpse, but then also the windmill too, the kind of shape of it and everything. It just like looks fantastic. A lot of this film.
I mean, I gotta agree with that. Like, oh, Bob, were you gonna say something? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Go ahead, man. I'll jump in after you.
Yeah, I mean, like part of the trivia that I would have covered is that like James Whale was heavily and intentionally following the lead of German Expressionism. So he watched like The Golem, he watched Dr. Caligari and things like Metropolis, things like that to sort of like wet his whistle a little bit. And it's not as stylish as those films, but it does do, if I may borrow a phrase from our friend Nicole, does light and shadow quite well. And it really like leans on contrast. Yeah. And the sets, some of the sets I guess were reused from The Cat and the Canary, I believe it was, from the year prior, which is surprising because like they're so iconic to this film now, because this movie is just like so like it's just one of the a top of mind kind of movie when you're thinking about horror, and so it's influenced a lot of things. And basically, the Gothic castle, as we understand it, is largely influenced by this. So yeah, I think it's really beautiful. I think because it's like pulling from very artful sources and its inspiration, it's doing a better job than our other two movies, because those movies are pulling from this. It's like the copy of a copy problem. So that's my assumption. Anyway.
You can
Talking to you, AI.
You can definitely get a feel that he was watching those earlier German Expressionist movies. There's like really, really deep shadows. A few scenes with like extreme kind of angles and like you get that vibe for sure. And just the imagery in this is so absolutely iconic. That windmill, I mean, they built it at the Epic theme park or whatever down in Orlando.
I was going to ask you about that. Like you guys go to the theme parks every so often. You haven't been to this one though yet, have you?
No, we haven't been down there yet. But that was part of the like, you know, there's a whole like Universal monster like area, and the windmill is there, and they also the like Romani sort of wagon situation from the Wolfman is there as well. There's like a castle and stuff, but we haven't actually been to see it yet. But yeah, that windmill is absolutely amazing. Also, just like the general look and design of the creature with like the big square head and the bolts in his neck, and like the way that or the electrodes, I should say, the way that he moves, even the way that he's introduced, where he like walks in through the door backwards slowly and then turns around, like all that stuff is just so like actually iconic. And like you have seen these things, even if you haven't seen this movie, right. It's inescapable. Even the scenes with like the rioters like chasing down the streets with their pitchforks and like walking up to the windmill, and like all that stuff just looks beautiful, man. All three of these movies I think do look beautiful, but this one does have kind of a little extra something, which is interesting because it's older. I think the look of the other two is a little cleaner, maybe less extreme, being less influenced by those earlier German Expressionist movies from the 20s and stuff, but it's got a great look.
Well, it's designed too, like this one too. Yeah. I mean, even the spaces within the windmill, like the space where they keep the monster at one point in the dungeon, and again, like when Fritz dies and the way that they play with the shadows and the angles, it does have a lot of that like Caligari kind of feel to it and stuff like that.
I mean,
yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no.
I was gonna say like the only like movie that that I can think of that really has a similar vibe is Dracula, which is I guess shouldn't be surprising, but it's not quite the same. It's not like a stone cathedral almost of a castle in that movie. It's really like I don't know. It's a little bit different. I don't know the styles of these architecture or whatever, but I think it works really, really nicely in both, and I think both are approached a lot more artfully than some of these later ones were when they were like, oh, okay, the monster boom started, and especially once we get to like Wolfman and stuff for all of its goods, bads, or whatever else. Like it's a little sparse in the visual department, and part of that is just that they don't have a monolithic castle or an amazing like windmills like set. Everything's a little bit more grounded and a little bit more stage looking. Yeah, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a little. I think Wolfman looks fucking awesome, but yeah, it doesn't have that one big giant gothic thing in it.
Yeah.
It definitely doesn't have that.
It's got low-lying fog, though, baby. Boy, does it have a lot of low-lying fog.
I love the fog, and I got some trivia about the fog, but we'll get to that. We're not talking about that yet.
We'll get to that.
There. Yeah.
But yeah, going back to like Rob kind of brought up, and we said this a little bit last week, is this. I mean, this is going to be the definitive style that you're going to see for the Frankenstein's monster. I mean, the hulking giant with the kind of flat top head and
hyper lobotomized brainless version.
Yeah, and the bolts in the neck and the kind of, well, I mean, this is black and white, but the green skin and the that big black jacket that he's usually wearing, the duster,
platform shoes,
we could call the big fat ass platform shoes. And that's just a really cool design. I think it's really brilliant too, because I mean, that is one thing that in the novel that there is, and he's a pieced together corpse. I mean, they do talk about his having like, I think long black hair and like yellow eyes and things like that. But I mean, it's just a pieced together corpse. And of course, pieces of it were rotting or discolored, and that's why it looked disgusting. So to be able to be like, okay, we got to create a monster look, we got to create this thing. And I think they nailed it, and it's iconic for a reason. It has lived on now 100 years. That any child at any age to have any picture of Frankenstein in their mind and in our culture is going to imagine this.
Yeah. For a century, it has lasted. Like how many things can you say? Like, 100 years ago, this movie that came out, people like know it. Like it's ingrained in their brain. It's it's a
they don't
list.
have the osmosification of this is crazy. Like it's really, really just like one of those things that you cannot avoid if you engage with culture at all.
Yeah.
And not just that, I mean, even if people everyone kind of knows the "It's alive" line too. Anyone would know that. Not horror fans, not film fans, everyone within our culture
if you've seen
will
a Pepsi commercial in your life.
It's
totally.
alive with Frankenstein, which is crazy that it's so iconic in that way. And yet, and it's probably, this is the thing is, I mean, it's done so many times, literally, it's just completely ingrained in pop culture and just every aspect. This is in video games, this is in comics, this is in commercials, this is in literally anything. And I never saw it until 2 years ago, for the first time. I didn't need to, but I knew all the beats and everything of it. But it's just so crazy that it's just an essential part of our cultural experience, I guess.
Well, it goes even beyond that, because like when we talk about horror movies, like so many horror movies like that don't have a whole lot of connective tissue to this are still Frankenstein stories. Just the idea of science run amok, this is the flashpoint for that idea in popular culture. Like very few other fucking stories are referenced as frequently as this is in criticism, in thinking about story and the way things work on film and beyond film. Like I don't know, the cultural impact can't be overstated, especially for this one.
People even use it like in modern day language, like as a verb to like Frankenstein something, like piece something together. It's wild. I think there a little bit of trivia about all these movies. There's that shock theater package that came out in the late 50s, 1957, where it's just like a whole bunch of monster movies that were just constantly aired on television. And like all these were part of that. So they got their big release in the 30s, and then again, like in the late 50s, had a bit of a resurgence because they were just always playing for free on TV when that was, widely available in the 50s. So that, I think that definitely helped sort of remind everybody like, hey, remember these spooky creatures or whatever? And then like our parents grew up watching them, and like I'm sure on some level wanted to show them to us when we were kids growing up. And of course, like we mentioned, there's like commercials, cartoons, borrow from this all the time. It's just
Monster
everywhere.
Mash. I mean,
the fucking
it really
Monster
like.
Mash, yeah.
I genuinely think that like the shock theater thing is almost equally responsible for the legendary status that this movie holds, because that allowed children to see it and regularly, and kids latch on to these monsters, man. There's a reason that there's 100 different fucking kid-friendly versions of Frankenstein in the zeitgeist.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's really it's kind of an amazing kind of film for all of those reasons. And it's strange to watch it just as a movie. It feels a little weird.
It does. Yeah.
It's got a lot of weight behind it. Yeah.
Right. You feel like you have to be crushingly in love with it. And that's not how you really engage with most movies. You just kind of go in and you watch it and you evaluate it for yourself. So objectivity is kind of hard to come by with a movie that's this ingrained in your brain and everybody else's.
We're often, fairly critical of movies on here, but to really criticize this in any way, even if there are things that you really don't like about it, feels like fucking pointless, because
pissing in the wind, dude.
It is. Yeah. Like why even bother? I don't know. I don't
think this movie's going to really amount to much.
Right. I don't think this Karloff fellow's going anywhere.
Yeah. Look here, Mr. Whale. You got to bring your A game next time, okay? I did want to talk about James Whale a little bit. I've known that he was a gay man living in the 30s, which has got to be difficult. But I read a bit of trivia that it was sort of like an open secret, people just kind of knew, but I'm sure didn't really talk about it much. And I was thinking about that watching this and The Invisible Man back to back, about a gay man who was working as a director in the 30s, and both of those movies have a lot of similarities in them, about these brilliant scientists that abandon their fiancés to go off and experiment, and in this case to create a man. I don't know, it's just watching it through a queer lens this time added a new layer for me that maybe made it feel a little more rich and a little less okay, I know the story of Frankenstein, but
you let that marinate for another 10 or 12 years and you'll probably end up writing Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Whoa.
You might be onto something there, Randy.
Yeah.
Well, the thing about it is there's so many differences to that. So I was just looking up, I was trying to look who the writer was in connection to that, Bob. But I mean, there's so many different, Garrett Fort, was one of the screenplay writers on here, but I mean, just the Friend, and I mean, it's completely different. Honestly, it's not even
from the
really,
book?
Yeah, from the book, just the different. It's just and almost not even close to being
it's.
So
the difference in the monster is so fascinating to me. Because I kind of think they're both valid in their own ways. Both are kind of abominations that you kind of feel bad for, but for not even really different reasons, just it feels different because one of them gets the agency to sort of scheme and plot and cause havoc and become the monster, lean it, do that Tyrion Lannister thing of I want to be the monster you think I am sort of thing. And that's so fascinating. But for an hour-long movie, it would be a lot. So I don't while I don't necessarily understand why what the benefit of this change was in the minds of the executives, to me, the benefit is sometimes they created a life and that life is a misery. It's just a misery of a life from a creature that had no say in anything and still does not have really any agency, at least not on the same level as his creator. So he's just lumbering about, reacting to things in ignorance. And that is its own kind of horror. I don't know. I really love thinking about the disparity between those two creatures.
I think this one is more or seems more critical of the science of
I think that's true.
The approach of science, because everyone's kind of there. It's not just Victor in the original. It's kind of Victor's fault. You know, he gets scared, he abandons it, he loses control. He thinks he's in control. He wants to achieve these things, and he achieves it without thinking of the consequences and completely abandons it because he's a coward and he just you know, so he doesn't take responsibility. But in this one, it's like literally everyone else is there and involved and knows what's going on. There's another doctor, and it's just this observation that they're trying to, you know, study and look at and stuff. And then Fritz, goddamn, Fritz is a piece of shit. And one thing I was thinking about, one thing that's really interesting, talking about how iconic this is. When I first watched this, I was like, wait a second, his name is Fritz? And I was like, where the fuck do we get Igor from? Because in the novel, there is no assistant. There's no Igor. There's no hunchback. There's none of that. So then I was like, well, where the fuck do we get Igor from? And because that's another thing. I think if anybody heard the name Igor, they would just think it's the assistant to Frankenstein. And I guess it was Son of Frankenstein, where the character of Igor is originally introduced. I thought that is so fucking wild to me.
Yeah,
that
that's
we
the
just
thing is
associate that with Frankenstein, but it's not even in this film, and it's not in the novel.
Well, that's another like cultural like psychosis thing. Like there's a lot of that around the movies that reach this level of consciousness, and like how it's become a fucking a running gag when somebody's like, oh, it's Frankenstein's monster. Actually, oh, like these misunderstandings that used to exist become tropes and memes in and of themselves, like because of how like society interacts with the artwork. It's really crazy when that sort of thing takes on a life of its own, and it stops being just like, you know, just like a flub or a weird decision by the studio and starts being like canonized in its own way. And now you have fucking Igor in Young Frankenstein, and you have like all these characters that like all these things, these little things that like are not actually from the source material, but it like just lived on in its own way. Yeah, I don't know. It's just strange, man. It's really hard to think of this movie as a movie.
It's so much more. One thing they do in this that really did shock me is they murder a child in this movie from 1931.
Pre-Hays Code.
Yeah, that's fair. I you know, people really bristle at that even to this day in movies. But to see it happen in this old ass black and white movie, man, I can only imagine what the audiences thought of it when they were in the theater watching this back in the 30s. Like it's pretty intense. It's a great scene too. He just doesn't really know what he's doing.
Maybe the best scene.
Yeah, it's when I think of this movie, other than like, you know, the It's Alive thing, that's the first scene that I think of when they're throwing the flowers in the lake and then he kills the girl. Yeah, another iconic.
Well, I mean, because it's like the entire pathos around the creature of the monster is basically. Without that scene, you don't really have a strong claim to it. I think that scene like solidifies that this is a creature that's walking around that has some awareness, but it's very, very dull awareness, and he has no capability of understanding right from wrong, social mores, any of the things that, you know, make a person walking down the street not necessarily dangerous to people. You know what I mean? But maybe more dangerous to people in argument. So like, I don't know. I think without it, it really does the worst version of the Frankenstein's monster, because the original is so smart and Machiavellian and is so grappling with his identity as like this revived undead creature. This guy, he's not grappling with shit except he's scared of fire, and he doesn't know where he is, doesn't know who means harm to him or who these people are, what this little girl wants. He just knows he's having a good time with her throwing things in the lake, and he throws her in the lake and walks away happy, and he doesn't know that he's murdered a child. Like, it's fucked. It's very like, it's just such an important scene to me. I don't think that this movie, I think this movie suffers a lot without it. And I think that there was originally, when they were floating Bela Lugosi as the monster, they did some test footage. This is some of the trivia with Bela on the set of Dracula, with him doing a whole different sort of like look, a whole different thing. But they were building off of a script that was like basically that, like the worst version of Frankenstein that is just a lumbering, monstrous beast with poor intentions towards humanity. That's all he was. And that's like, James Whale rejected that script and basically rewrote it entirely, is my understanding. So, or no, he didn't rewrite it, but it was rewritten, I believe, at his bequest, but at his request, or at some point that somebody came along and was like, no, there needs to be some sort of driving force for this creature. And thank God, because I feel like some of these monster movies, especially as they continue on and it's more like a money grab situation, they stop doing that. They stop caring about introducing a reason for anything to happen. They just need, it's the same as any horror. It's a tale as old as time in the horror circles.
Yeah,
like,
for real.
You repeat it enough, you don't need to go into the silly little details about why this creature's killing things. You just let him kill things. Like, I'm glad that this like exists in the form that it does, is I guess what I'm getting at.
Yeah. Any other major points you guys want to touch on before we rate Frankenmang?
I think the only other like important thing to know is one of the big differences too is the idea of a brain. It's almost the way that they set it up is almost like the monster doesn't have a choice. Like Fritz fucks it up. He takes a criminal's brain. Again, that's not something that happens in the original story. So I don't think they drive it home as well. Like they've taken these pieces, but it is, he does seem innocent, but they need to make him a villain. And I don't think they put the full weight of the guilt or the villainy onto Henry, aka Frankenstein, the doctor. Yeah. And they kind of create these outs for themselves, which I think was maybe important was like the standard for the time, 1931. Everything's more black and white. You have a hero, you have a villain, and he's got a criminal's brain. Yeah, and even though, the whole thing is like the monster and the way that Mary Shelley wrote it is he is sympathetic and, Victor is a piece of shit, and doesn't take responsibility for his fuck ups. And it's, but in this way, it's like, oh, it's a criminal's brain. He was gonna be violent anyways, and then he kills the innocent doctor. And so even though Fritz is a huge piece of shit, and you're like, fuck you, Fritz. Yeah, you got yours. Whatever.
Sucks. That's the same actor that did Renfield too. That guy's got a niche.
Yeah.
And it's great. Honestly, his performance is fabulous in both movies, may I say. He's one of my favorite actors in the movie just because he's so the actions are hateable enough on their own, but he's got that same energy as one of the Sawyer family in the original Texas Chainsaw, where it's just like a manic, brother, like a deranged joy of seeing pain in others. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I just want to bring that up. Yeah.
Yeah, good point. Definitely. Let's go and rate this thing out of 5. Rand Diesel, kick us off, man.
Yeah, I mean, again, really tough to think of this on the same metric as other movies because of its reputation. Part of me just wants to give it a 5 just because its reputation is what it is. But trying to think of it objectively, it is beautiful to look at. Juice, you made that point, and it is very true. This is basically one of the better looking American original run horror movies that sort of introduced the idea of horror as a genre. It's a standard bearer for a reason. It looks fucking amazing. The makeup looks great. Some of the decisions are went on to become iconic, but are a little bit baffling in the moment. Maybe I don't know. The flat top. I don't know. I guess that's something you could do. It turned out really great in the end, but strange choices. The renaming of characters, concern about people not knowing that not thinking Victor is an approachable enough name or whatever. Strange stuff. And it's pretty short, and I would say as much as I do give credit for them giving the creature some pathos, I wish he had more. I do wish that we had spent my modern eyes wants there to be a little bit more meat on the bone. I want there to be a little bit more of a comeuppance or a reckoning for Henry, and I think they neutered the situation with Elizabeth, in the version of the story that would be more impactful to me, she probably dies Henry probably dies as well. But he like you said, Justin, like it doesn't really hold accountable the people that need to be held accountable for the idea of science run amok to truly hold its water. I think that you said that you think this one leans more into that. I think the original kind of does more because it's more philosophical in general. Like the Mary Shelley version, it's that like she was reacting to whatever the science of the day was, chemicals and that sort of thing. And this one is like dealing with electricity and shit that like people were like aware of, but didn't know the full power of, or didn't. I don't know. I think that they both share that, and I think this one does it a little bit weaker because they're trying to tailor it to audiences, and that's just a foible of the movie industry, I guess. So anyway, I'm going in circles here. I think I'm going to give it a 4.5 with a slight ding, just because I think that a lot of that stuff, if I'm trying to be objective, seems more erroneous than it seems right. So I'm going to go with that. But there's a lot to love here, and the reputation really does give it a hefty boost for me.
Randy, 4.5, leaving room to grow for Frankenstein. Maybe it'll get there.
Maybe another 100 years I'll see the light, you know?
Juice, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, again, this has iconic status, and it's not like what we say is going to affect or change anything. But I mean, I do think that as a film, there are things that can be critiqued. Of course, you have to consider that it was made 100 years ago, but still, I mean, the ending is quite weird. You know, it's just weird. Why would you end like that? It doesn't really make any sense.
They didn't really figure out endings in the
yet. Just not. But I mean, we've covered, you know, Caligari. We've covered old films and stuff like that. So I mean, there are some weird choices that are taken. For the most part, I think that this, you know, lives up to its status. And when I watched it for the first time, I was very pleased that it held up so well. But I mean, even at that time, I thought, you know, like the dad character is very strange, and even just the dynamic. I mean, it's very over the top. Elizabeth and what's going on with their wedding and all that kind of stuff. Just the relationships that are going on. The friend of Victor, like we say, he doesn't do fucking shit anyways. It's just that there's some weird dynamics going on here, which leads to some weird choices. But all the positives that we mentioned still hold up extremely well. The look, the design, and some of the changes are for the better, I think. But I don't think it holds Victor accountable in the way that Mary Shelley does. And there's so many adaptations that have been able to build off of this that make it a little more dramatic or make it a little bit more extreme, that when you actually watch this one, it feels like a little bit lesser than, because so many things have stood on the shoulders, of course, and built off of it. But then at the same time, the transformation scene, like It's Alive, was a little less than I thought it was going to be in some cases. And so the performance is good, but just the overall spectacle surrounding it is a little bit less. So ultimately, I'm going to give it a 4. I know that's might be a little ridiculous, but why would you change his name to Henry and then put Victor in there? And what's up with the dad? You know, what are they doing there? What's going on with that and the ending? And I think there's some things to critique about this film. Not like it would change anything at all, but
Apologize.
that's true for new films too. It's not like what I say matters, so fuck it. 4.
I think the we're tastemakers here on this podcast, and we're about to make or break the reputation of Frankenstein.
1931. 100 years later, we're about to cripple this film.
Finally weighing in.
Oh, hi there.
Out of 5, we're going to rate Frankenbang.
Yeah, I kind of like, my personal enjoyment when I watch this isn't necessarily through the roof or anything, but I tried to put myself in the shoes of someone in 1931 watching this for the first time, where like the universal monsters do not exist. Like, these movies don't exist. You don't have a century's worth of like Frankenstein riffs and references and embellishments and sequels like drilled into your brain. And like, I can't imagine what seeing this creature for the first time on the big screen would feel like in the theaters in 1931. Like, I'm sure it was just blowing people's minds. So
These
like,
same people probably screamed at that fucking footage of a locomotive coming towards the camera. So I mean,
probably. I don't know. Just thinking of it in that way, I it really does. It clearly holds a lot of weight. I'm sure, and it works still to this day on so many levels. It's a really beautiful film. The creature design is amazing. The performances are solid. There definitely are some interesting choices made with some of the characters. But I think all said, it holds together quite well, better than some of these other Universal monster movies, in my opinion. And I don't know. I don't know that I can really give it anything less than a 5. So I'm just gonna do that and give it a 5.
Bob Big Leaguing us over here.
Gotta do it. I'm not gonna do that for all these movies we're talking about tonight, but this movie just feels like it holds so much weight, and it really does hold up. It's a beautifully shot film. Yeah, so 5. That's gonna put our aggregate at a 4.5. From your boy James Whale, 1931's Frankenstein. Rand Diesel, why don't you take us over to our Rotten Tomatoes segment?
Let's do it.
Certified dead.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to run through this now and not do it again because you should know by now. This is the Rotten Tomatoes segment in which I'm going to have these folks guess within the best of their abilities what the aggregate positive score is for Frankenstein or whatever movie we happen to be talking about on RottenTomatoes.com. As always, we will start with the user score. The critic score, the tomatometer, and then move on to the poopometer or the user score. Let's see. There's 95 reviews from critics for this film. The tomatometer is 95 reviews. I'm going to start with Soju today. Soju, you're going to take us off on the critics. What do you think those 95 critics had to say about this movie in terms of net positivity?
It has to be sky high. This is going to be one of those few where it's going to be a game of inches, 1 or 2 points, because it's just going to be at the top. So you got to shoot for a ringy-ding here, or you're probably going to lose it. Fuck. 98%.
1998.
Maybe there's one person out there who, I mean, what are you going to do?
I mean, it's 95 reviews, so it might,
I know.
It literally could be one person difference. That's true. Bob, where are you at with it?
I'll take the under because there's not much over. I won't $1, but I'll $2 with a 96. Maybe we'll tie it.
Whoa,
96. Okay. Well, let me tell you, one of you guys is just 2 percentage points away from the correct answer.
Oh boy.
Just 2.
Probably me.
That correct answer, 94%. Bob's walking with this one.
94.
Yeah,
that's surprising.
There's
2?
5, like
at 2, maybe 3. I don't know the math,
4,
but something like that.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
This
What do you got to do to get 100 in this town?
This movie's full of shit. You know,
Really overrated. In this Frankenstein.
I'm going to do the user score, and then we'll jump into the critics' consensus, and then some negative reviews real quick. There are 5,000 plus user reviews here. That's a hefty sample size. We're going to go in reverse order. Bob, out of those 5,000 plus ratings, what percentage would you wager are positive?
still, I think it's going to be very high.
But how high?
How high? Yeah, that's a large sample size. It'll drive it down.
5.
I'll take a 90 even, please.
90 flat. Okay. 90 flat from Bob. Soju, where are you going with it?
We'll take the under. I am gonna $1. Actually, I like a tie chance sometime. I'll take an 88.
Good year.
I like a tie chance as well. I like to wear a good tie, and I just need the chance.
Like a tie chance.
So one of you one of you is just 1 percentage point away from correct.
Ooh.
That correct answer, 87% Soju's walking away with this one. This will go. The audiences are a little softer on it. Not quite a full mast.
Soft ass audience.
Yeah, man. I don't
See
know.
it every day.
I don't like soft ass shit.
Well, we got 6 chances today, boys. So that's 1 skeet and 1
The
yeet.
old skeet and
We'll see
yeet.
what the net is going to be. Here's
Actually, I
the
guess we
critics'
only have 4
consensus.
chances because we're going to split it up.
Oh, yeah.
So.
That's true. Yeah. We're trading
Oh,
off.
yeah, I guess that's true. You got to have a bleat in there, hopefully. Critics' consensus
bleat.
as follows. Hail bleat! Critics' consensus, still unnerving to this day. Frankenstein adroitly, explores the fine line between genius and madness and features Boris Karloff's legendary, frightening performance as the monster.
Yeah.
Nothing's more frightening than the word adroit.
Adroit.
Android.
All right, let's read whatever negative
Ganis.
reviews happen to exist. There's at least 2.
Android Ganis.
And adroit Ganis is what they call me.
The throwback.
Here's one. One of those movie attempts to turn out a weird mystery meller, which never quite clicks with the audience, which doesn't believe in Santa Claus. What the fuck?
What?
Is this English?
Meller?
One of those movie attempts to turn a weird mystery meller. I don't know the word meller. I have no idea what that means. Which never quite clicks with an audience which doesn't believe in Santa Claus. I don't believe in Santa Claus, therefore your Frankenstein is of no interest to me, sir.
That just means no imagination.
That means that's
but
a
that would be like
joyless
criticizing
individual is what the problem
I
is.
don't. Okay.
That's a person who is incapable of internal fantasy. That's the issue at hand.
Whoa.
Insane. One more. Everything in Mary Wollstonecraft Shelley's novel that lifted it above the level of a penny dreadful has been omitted. I can at least understand that point of view.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're
really
criticizing
love
on the reference from, what the book does,
The source
then
material.
Sure.
Yeah. The source material has a lot going for it, man. And I kind of agree that it is a better piece of artwork.
That's kind of with the 4. I mean, yeah, like this is a much weaker story than what it's based off of.
Yeah.
Just in
but
comparison.
it brings a lot more to the
or something.
table. So
Yeah.
it's a push and a pull,
Yeah.
The old in out. All right, that's it for Rotten Tomatoes. We got a little bit of trivia left, I think.
Lucky man.
If you guys want to get into it.
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
It's totally time for trivia.
Hey guys, you know how this movie has been referenced visually and otherwise in so much shit for forever?
Yeah.
Well, guess what? That fucking copyright is about to run out. 19. We're 1 year away. What is it? 2027. I'm sorry, what?
So, but we're about to make our own Frankenstein movie. Straight chilling.
Frankenmang. Here it comes. Yeah, and at January 1st, 2027, at least as far as the IMDb trivia section is concerned, is the date that this becomes in the public domain. And even apparently the makeup choice, which is Jack P. Pierce, is the guy who originated this makeup. He gets a lot of accolades for basically inventing a fucking American classic. And that too will be in public domain at the same time, is my understanding. So, it's kind of shocking that it's been so culturally like osmosified, even as it is. You think about something like Mickey Mouse that just went into the public domain. The reason that was not that was a bigger deal, I think, than this will be, is because Disney is a fucking monster about their goddamn copyrights. They go after you, and if you don't protect your copyright in instance A, then like when somebody like paints it on their fucking nursery wall, and if you don't sue for that, then you can't sue for somebody stealing the iconic imagery for something more tangible or more impactful.
Gotcha.
So yeah, that's like a weird copyright thing that exists. And obviously, like, there's been a lot of Frankenstein's monsters out there that have pulled from this very heavily, and Universal did not always go after those people, and therefore it became just culturally part of the mix, and I think the world is better for it. Fucking
Mickey
Disney.
Mouse is not culturally a part of.
Mickey Mouse can eat my shit by comparison, is all I'm saying.
Tell him, Randy. Eat my shit.
I don't
I'm
even
telling
know who is this Mikey Mouse. What is that?
Mikey Mouse. I don't know, some disease-ridden rodent that exists to make children happy or something.
Sounds about right.
Mikey Mouse.
Yeah, Mikey Mouse, the famous.
All right.
Yeah, let's read another thing here. While preparing to film the scene where the monster attacks Elizabeth, Mae Clark admitted to Boris Karloff that she was worried when she saw him in full makeup coming towards her. She might really be frightened. Karloff, which would be terrible for an actor to really feel an emotion in the moment, I guess. Side
In the
note.
30s.
Yeah. Karloff told her that throughout the scene, he would wiggle his pinky finger just out of sight of the camera, so that despite the horrific makeup, she could always see her friend Boris waving at her and letting her know that she was safe. I think that's real sweet.
Be an adult.
Yeah. Act.
Yeah. Say this is.
It's makeup. You know it's
man.
makeup. Yeah.
Look, I just think it's real
Hey
sweet.
girl, hey.
I'm always
Wiggling
pinky
my little
waving at girls.
pinky at your pinky.
Whenever I'm
out.
like,
That's not
whenever I'm
his
like
pinky.
threateningly approaching a woman, I always wave my pinky finger so she knows it's
I
cool.
wave
knows
my
it's cool.
pinky at you, girl.
It's cool, baby. I'm waving.
That'll keep you calm.
Oh yeah, don't worry about it. I got that wave going. That one finger wave. Okay, here's something interesting.
They don't call
After
it
bringing the
little finger
monster
for
to
nothing, eh, boys?
I think they call it that for nothing.
For nothing.
After bringing the monster to life, Dr. Frankenstein uttered the famous line, "Now I know what it's like to be God." The movie was originally released with this line of dialogue, but it was then re-released in the late 1930s, and censors demanded it be removed on the grounds that it was blasphemy. A loud clap of thunder was substituted in the soundtrack. The dialogue was partially restored on the video release, but since no decent recording of the dialogue could be found, it still appears garbled and indistinct. The censored dialogue.
Had that in
Yeah,
there.
I feel like I heard it clearly.
It's the phrasing of this is bad. It's going to continue. The censored dialogue was partially returned to the soundtrack in the initial restored version releases. Further restoration has now completely brought back this line of missing dialogue.
Okay, I was
A
about to
clean
say.
recording of the missing dialogue was reportedly found on a Vitaphone disc, similar to a large phonograph record. Modern audio technology was used to reinsert the dialogue without any detectable change in the audio quality. With the restoration, it is now known that he says, Now I know what it feels like to be God."
Yeah, don't people get that's like what the movie's critiquing?
Yeah, that's what it's about. I mean,
fucking
why would
idiots.
that be blasphemous?
Do you think that Dust Bowl era
that's a
fucking
problem.
cinema goers gave a shit? Those
Well, that's
people
the
were
problem with making
burning
him.
crosses
He's
and
the
shit.
hero, so
Yeah.
he can't
Well,
blaspheme God.
He's a
He can't
white
have the name Victor. I won't accept it. It's blasphemy, I tell you. Blasphemy.
He's Henry, and he's a God-fearing Christian. Okay,
I refuse to
My
believe
boy
that Hank
Henry.
would consider himself God.
That's why he does exactly what the Burgermeister demands.
my boy Burgermeister.
Dude,
Sounds delicious.
genuinely made me want a burger so bad when I watched this movie.
Randy. And he's
I'm a
that
very
red-blooded
suggestible
American.
boy.
Yeah.
I am.
Oh, yeah.
Burger, yes.
I'll
All right,
have one.
I'll try one more. Do we have any time for one more? Or are you good?
Yeah, roll
Are
it.
we good?
Go for it.
Okay, let's see. I already covered that. Okay, this one's kind of fucked. According to historian Gregory W. Menck, director James Whale was jealous of the attention Boris Karloff's monster was getting during production and took revenge by making the actor carry Colin Clive up the mountain to the mill in take after take dozens of times. Clive felt badly for his co-star and suggested that a dummy be used, and Whale refused. Karloff continued to have to carry Clive's 6 foot, 155-pound body in succeeding takes.
And those high
James Whale
heels.
was a bit of a bitch, a little bit
He
of
was
a little
what?
bitty
Yeah,
bitch.
he was getting jealous of the attention.
I was
Yeah,
unclear
he's
about
not
that
on
too. The movie
screen,
was not out
so-
yet.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah, what? Who's giving the attention from who?
I guess it's like the people behind the scenes. I guess maybe, but like also good.
Yeah,
for your movie.
you're making
Yeah,
a movie, yeah.
making a movie.
Don't like what I'm making.
I don't want my lead actor getting this much attention.
God.
What are you fucking talking about, James?
like me.
Yeah,
Cool.
weird shit.
Randy, I'm gonna need you to carry Bob up this hill a couple
Yeah, man.
times. I just don't
I'm
like
gonna
how
need you to
much
kiss my ass.
attention you're getting. I'm the star of this show. You see?
Carrie Bob.
People are gonna see this movie and say, "Whale."
That's so weird. Okay.
Thanks for
And
the
then those
trivia.
platform shoes too. God damn.
Yeah.
Misery,
The fuck?
total misery, had to be.
We are
Just made him
gonna
more buff, huh? Got his ass.
even more attention. We're gonna stick a pin in the Cooter for this, and we're gonna do one Cooter segment for all three movies at the end of the show. So that's gonna do it for Frankenmang, and we're gonna roll right into the second feature, The Invisible Mang. Juice, this is your baby. This is yours.
Yeah, we got all the mangs today, so we'll hop right into back of the box. So first off, a scientist finds a way of becoming
whoa,
go ahead.
whoa.
Well, you can do the bump.
No,
Okay,
I don't
go
know
ahead.
if we're doing the bumps or
I'm
not.
gonna do the
We
bump.
didn't.
What's on the back of the box?
I was waiting for that so that I could now go to the bathroom surreptitiously. I'll see you
Okay,
in a second.
gotcha. I'll read this. So, back of the box says a scientist finds a way of becoming invisible, but in doing so, he becomes murderously insane. Murderously insane. Yes, this is Invisible Mang. Let's see, what year did this come out? 1933, so just 2 years after Frankenmang. We got all the Mangs coming out. Again, directed by James Whale. This is starring Claude Rains, Gloria Stewart, William Harrigan, writers H.G. Wells. Yeah, let's go around and say, have we seen this before and would we recommend people check this out? Robert, kick us off.
Yo, I had seen this movie once before, actually last year, for our friends over at A Cut Above. They were reviewing a bunch of Universal Monster movies and invited Mikey and myself on to talk about The Invisible Man. So that was my first time watching it just last year. So pretty fresh to me still.
Mikey Mouse?
My boy Mikey,
Mikey
Myers
Mouse?
Mouse was
Wow,
on
you
that
brought him
show.
out of
I don't
retirement,
know
huh?
him.
Mikey. And it's a light recommend from me. I think this one is sort of lower on my my ranking for the Universal Monsters. It's still got some pretty great stuff that we'll get into, but I don't know that it's like mandatory viewing necessarily. So maybe a light recommend from your boy Bob on this one.
Okay.
Yeah. Randy, what about you?
Yeah, first time viewing for me. I've actually there's a good number of like the classic monster movies that I had not seen, and this one was actually top of my list of one I've been intending to see for a long time. I had gotten at some point I had gotten the feeling that it was going to be one that I really liked, and I was pretty excited about this one above the others. And I gotta say, I was a little disappointed in this one. Based on my expectations. And yeah, I think I would recommend it certainly on the homework level. I think that like if you're gonna be doing the diligence of looking at past horror movies, this is still a big one. I think it's not nearly to the level of Frankenstein. Very few things are, but I think that it is heavily in the conversation. I think that is part of the scaffolding that is the Universal Monsters that then everything else is kind of built out on for a long time. So, yeah, I'd recommend it on that range, but yeah, it's, I'll get into my critiques of it here in a minute, but it's not quite to the level I hoped it would be. I will say that the one thing that really, really did fulfill what I wanted, and I knew it would, was because I'd seen images, is the look of like the bandaged face and all that stuff. It's really cool looking. It's an excellent costume for like Halloween and shit. It's that's iconic. So yeah, that's where I'm at with it. A light recommend certainly. Soju, how about you?
Yeah, this is the second time I watched this. This is one of the ones that I watched a couple years ago when I was doing my run. And at that time, I was really impressed by this film, actually. I was one of my favorite watches. I remember that I did this year. So going into it this year, I was really looking forward to watching it again because that stuck out my mind. And I will say maybe on the second watch, it was a little lower than I had remembered it, but it's still a lot of fun. I think this is a really cool one. I think it's got some cool elements to it. Maybe not as essential as Frankenstein, but I would still recommend people check this out. I think it's a cool watch. So I'm gonna be defender on this one, I guess.
Do it.
So yeah, check this one out.
Yeah, sounds like a loose recommend, I guess, from the crew as
medium
a whole.
To loose
here.
there.
I'm loose.
Yeah, medium to loose. But check out The Invisible Man, and I think this story is lesser known, so maybe we will actually be spoiling this one for you. And here comes your warning.
Spoiler warning.
Juice! You got that plot synopsis?
Oh yeah. I got Randy has one soju bottle down after one movie.
You got to refill.
That's an average of a bottle a movie. We got 2 to go. Whoa.
No time for breathing.
All right, here's that plot synopsis. In a snowy English village, a mysterious stranger wrapped in bandages and wearing dark glasses rents a room at an inn. His name is Dr. Jack Griffin, though no one knows it yet. Griffin is a chemist who has discovered a formula that renders him invisible, but he hasn't figured out how to reverse it yet. Desperate to finish his experiments in secret, he isolates himself, becoming increasingly irritable and violent. The innkeepers grow suspicious, and after a confrontation, Griffin reveals his power by stripping off his clothes and vanishing before their eyes. Now a fugitive, he unleashes a reign of terror, boasting of plans for domination. His fiancée, Flora, and her father plead for his sanity, but the drug that caused his invisibility is also driving him mad. Griffin kills a police inspector. He ends up derailing a train full of passengers. He spreads panic across the countryside. The police organize a manhunt, but catching someone who cannot be seen proves nearly impossible. His former colleague, Kemp, betrays him, alerting the authorities, and Griffin vows revenge. True to his word, he murders Kemp by sending his car off of a cliff. The police finally corner Griffin in a barn during a snowstorm. His footprints in the snow give him away, and they set fire to the barn. Badly burned, he becomes visible again as he dies in the hospital. In his final moments, Griffin expresses love for Flora and admits the futility of his experiment. His death ends his terrifying rampage, leaving only the tragic memory of a brilliant man consumed by his own creation. Another science is bad story, boys.
Yeah.
All right. Why do y'all hate this film so much?
It's because I hate you personally. I think.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
I do think it's all 3 of these movies we're talking about tonight. They're all about very privileged, wealthy, educated white dudes who just want more shit. And then, of course, what could go wrong with that? Basically,
Wolfman's a little different.
It's I guess it is a little bit different, than these first 2.
But it's in a similar zone. But it's not the same.
Definitely similar.
It's not about unbridled ambition the same way.
Yeah, it's not. It's definitely not.
So it's definitely similar, but different to Frankenstein in some aspects. In this case, the scientist is the straight up villain.
Yeah, he is a bastard man in this movie. There's no mistake.
Because the Invisible Man's a bastard man.
He is a bastard man. Holy shit. He is just fucking shit up and laughing in people's faces about it, throwing bicycles at people.
Here we go gathering nuts in May, nuts in May, nuts in May.
I love the line he has, actually. Just talk about some good stuff in this. I love the line where he rolls over to Kemp and he's like, "You're helping me, motherfucker." And he sits down and he's like, "First we shall begin with a reign of terror." Just like this, we're just gonna fuck shit up, dude.
You see, that's the thing. Like, I here's the thing is like, I don't hate this movie by any means. It is just, I guess I just wanted something a little different than what I got. But I will say, like, the way that I received that line was way different than you did, because I was hoping for like philosophical thought or whatever. Like I wanted to, like, I thought that there was going to be more like thinking, and it was like Snidely Whiplash to the nth degree, like just complete mustache twirling villainy shit. And I was like, man, this guy literally just said, I think I'll do a Reign of Terror real quick. It's fucking.
You want to do a Reign of Terror with me? Yeah.
Well, I like it.
Reign of Terror?
Because they're trying to say, you know, they have these people who are feeding this information because we don't see him before the experiment. We're introduced to him as the Invisible Man only. And so the only perspective that we have is these people saying like, oh no, he's a brilliant guy. And he, you know, trying to sell like this love aspect and stuff like that. And so the performance, I think, really sells the I'm going insane aspect. He becomes more and more desperate, and as he grows more desperate, he becomes more insane as well. So it's this combination of desperation, and the situation is not allowing him to progress the way he needs to in order to reverse this. Plus, at the same time, in his frustration and desperation, he does just start to embrace the power aspect of it. Like, well, I got this, and I'm pushed to the brink, and I'm also going mad, and I'm fed up with everything, so fuck it. And he does just like go buck wild. And I think the performance for me sells it. He really like does the I'm going insane voice, kooky, going over the top
his
well for me. And I kind of like that. Yeah.
When he's like, when he first gets to the inn and they kind of find out about him, and he's in the middle of undressing, he's like shirt cocking it basically, and just starts like laughing hysterically at the people because they're like dumbfounded that he's invisible, of course. Like moments like that are super fucking silly, and the movie does kind of come out swinging with it, where I think like our modern day audiences, we would much prefer this like this ramp up, this progression to that, but they come out the gate with it, and I think it is a little bit jarring because you're like, is this just how he is? Because you haven't met him before.
That's like, the thing.
He is fucking crazy. They say the drugs are like making him fucking lose his mind. Yeah.
Oh, that's the thing, is like I have to be told that, and like I wish that there was even one scene of him beforehand or like right after where he's like completely like logical and reasonable and you know, isn't flying off the handle, because it seems like he's doing that a lot, and it's not always humorous. Like I guess I was looking for somebody who was like the pathos of like, well, I'm kind of fucked with this invisibility stuff, so I don't want to just fucking like take over the country. Like that's it's such a weird leap, and I feel like I would have really liked a ramp up of any kind, and just isn't any. In his desperation, he does turn on that capitalist mindset where he's like, fuck it, I'll just sell this shit to the highest bidder and be on my merry way. But first, a Reign of Terror.
Gotta get the Reign of Terror.
Gotta get it in there.
Gotta get the order of operations right.
Oh yeah.
Well, like, and also the idea, I was also like kind of baffled by the idea that like, and I know that this is the ravings of a madman or whatever, but like, I was like, he's a scientist, and I thought that maybe he would be like prideful about his logic about doing X, Y, and Z subterfuge. If he's gonna be evil, if he's like dedicating himself to that, and his big plan is like, well, I'm extra strong now, I guess I can do all kinds of strongman things. Like it just like very dumb shit. Like I wanted there to be a little bit more of like a thinking man's villain here, and it kind of turns out not to be. I understand that he's going mad, but he's a guy that like I would think like a very brilliant scientist who fashions himself as like, I had discovered like an undeniable world-changing thing, is going to be so high on his bullshit that he's going to like everything's gonna be centered around how, oh, the smart way to do that is this, the smart thing to do is this, and like it's not. He's just like, I think I'm gonna fucking drive a bus off a fucking cliff. Like, well, fuck?
Yeah, I mean, he does kind of maximize his destruction. in that, like when the train too, like when he's like loose in the countryside and stuff too. But they do introduce like a decent weakness for him in that it's fucking cold. It's the winter time, which also kind of adds to his, I think, mindset, because it's like, why would you just reveal yourself and then you have to go walk around naked outside, you know? So,
yeah.
But I do like when he runs the train off the cliff. And it kind of adds to the idea that he could be anywhere. He could be out in the countryside, but it's part of his kind of like hubris of like going back to get Kim or whatever. But they don't get him then either. And so, yeah, I don't know. I kind of just like the back and forth and the idea too of, he could be anywhere. He could be in this meeting room right now. Like you could be anywhere in the country and think, shit, I don't know if I can have a conversation right now unless I like try to walk around this room with a stick and try to, you know. But I do like the idea of them being like, we'll give money for anyone who's got an idea how to catch him. And then people are like coming up with all these like wacky, crazy ideas of like how to get this guy.
You know, the bright spot of this movie to me, outside of like a few of the manic episodes and like the look of the guy, are the not the extras, but the extraneous characters. The fucking barkeep woman, who is the same woman that shows up in Bride of Frankenstein, like somehow. She's fucking hilarious. I just like listening to her complain in her Cockney accent. It's great.
I thought she was annoying
one of my favorite
as
things.
hell on it.
I find her very annoying as well. And
I loved her. I thought
she's the worst part of Bride of Frankenstein for me, honestly.
Oh my god, I love it. It's like,
not a fan.
Give me a character with some character, but not like. But the lead needs to have some pathos too. That's the problem. Is like if there was. Like with Bride of Frankenstein, there's at least some pathos going on, so it counterbalances better than this one. I just kind of like that woman's performance, I think.
There's a lot of really amazing imagery in this. We already mentioned like the look of him with the bandages and the glasses. It looks amazing. The scene with him smoking, the whole idea that when he eats, like he has to wait an hour for his food to digest or else they can see the food in his stomach. I love all that stuff. The barn scene where he's walking in the snow is fucking amazing. When he first arrives at the end and opens the door and the snow's blowing in behind him, like amazing shot right there. I love all of that stuff quite a bit. But it I guess it doesn't have, again, like that big like giant set piece like Frankenstein does. So I assume that's maybe why we haven't like pop culture isn't like lousy with Invisible Man shit. Like there's been a bunch of remakes and like riffs on it and shit, but not quite as much as Frankenstein, I guess. And also like he's invisible, so I don't think it's kind of hard to riff on that. And
right, like the only visual you have, the iconic visual, is him not being invisible, and right. So it's a little bit counterintuitive in that way.
Yeah, I think the effects generally hold up really well, though. Like again, thinking like 1933, if I'm going to see this for the first time on the big screen, and the dude is invisible,
it's shit that you and I can do. I mean,
yeah, but
if I move around enough, my hand's going to disappear.
Considering though, I think it holds up pretty well.
Seeing this in the theater 100 years ago, you'd be like, how the fuck did they make this guy invisible? Like it's still very
truly in camera technology. It is impressive for its era.
Hell yeah.
It just hits different.
I mean, the shirt dancing around and stuff. Yeah, when he's,
but also,
or like when he takes it, when she comes, like when she comes in and it's got the top, I think, wrapped up, but not the bottom because he's eating or whatever. That's a really cool reveal, I think. Yeah, if I saw this for the first time in the fucking 30s when like movies just came out, I'd like, I'd lose my shit.
Blow your mind, yeah.
I pissed and I shit my pants.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. This is another one I was thinking on my second viewing of this year, of James Whale being the director of The Invisible Man and like kind of watching this through a sort of queer lens. And one of the characters, was it I think it's Jack's father says like, how queer, or it's a queer thing that he would like completely abandon his fiance and go off to make these crazy experiments all on his own. And like, I don't know, it just like added another layer of depth for me, whether it was intended or not by James Whale. Like the idea of an invisible man, like a gay man in the 30s, like your true self has to be invisible on some level because that just wasn't accepted, obviously. So like, I don't know.
I mean, I wasn't looking for that.
It a little bit on my second viewing for this show anyway, and made me like it a little bit more. I don't know. Did y'all consider that at all?
I didn't, which is shameful because like in college I took and failed out of a course was explicitly the monsters course. I've mentioned this before. There was it was a literature course. It was about monsters. What is it? Monsters, robots, and cyborgs. And it was taught by a gay dude who like very much was bringing that lens to things. And like so there was a lot of like talk about like queer shit or whatever. And they brought a lot of that like to Dracula's daughters, to Dracula. But I don't know that they brought up the Invisible Man. So I guess I also just didn't know that much about James Whale. So
I didn't know. I didn't know that.
I don't know. Like that is interesting, and I kind of wish I had watched it knowing that or having remembered that. And I'm a little bit sad that I
watch it again.
I failed out of that course. It was like my fifth class of the day at like 10 p.m. or some shit. It was insane.
Oh, Randy. There's a couple things. I think the biggest thing that like I don't like about this is like a weird decision the cops make. Like they come up with this like whole giant elaborate plan to save Kemp's life, but at the end of it, they just let him get in the car and drive off all by himself. And it's like, well, why send one cop with him? And then the Invisible Man, of course, does murder him successfully. It's kind of a silly thing to do.
It was under his insistence, though. I think it was kind of out of his fear because he was like, no, he's gonna know that I'm like gonna be in there or whatever. So it's partially his fault as well.
Yeah, I didn't love that, but maybe it's a little nitpicky.
I do love, I actually kind of love the kind of commentary because it does seem to be criticizing authority a bit in that way, the incompetence of it. Because even at the beginning, I do kind of like how they go through this process of where they won't believe a whole town, where literally everyone's telling them this is what happened to us. This is what we saw. And they're like, preposterous. This is impossible. And you're all just delusional. And you're all, and this, again, like the psychiatrist comes on or whatever. And he's like, oh, they're all just under this mass, delusion or whatever. And then it's not until I know, but still, it's not until a police officer gets murdered that then they'll take it seriously, I guess is the thing. And then the incompetence of all of them where they're like, we're gonna put the snow or whatever they do. And the cat kind of totally like throws them all up. Like they have 4 or 5 chances to get this guy like as a sure thing. And they just bungle it up.
I do like that. Yeah.
Even today, we say, oh my God, with the incompetence, and it seems silly. And yet we have these fucking true crime things coming out based on, what was the one where they handed the guy literally back to his killer. And, after he had escaped and he was drugged and he was like, oh, it was Dahmer. Oh, that's my boyfriend. Or when he was like 14, he was like 14 and he ended up, he was 14. He was being drugged. He actually escaped the apartment, but Dahmer was like, oh, this is my gay boyfriend. And the cops got so uncomfortable that they literally gave the kid back to Dahmer. And he was murdered. Yeah. So we say this, but I mean, so I think that's an aspect of this that I actually kind of like.
That's fair. And that is consistent with the cops, actually, now that you bring it up. Because like the Bobbies in this are like, they just stroll into the scene like, what's all this then? They're like so stereotypical and just like have no fucking idea what's going on. And the cop's like, oh, if he takes off the rest of his clothes, we won't catch him for 1,000 years. They're just fucking like useless, really. So that's a fair point, I suppose.
That is, I guess I wasn't thinking of it on that level. It just, everything seemed very like, I think the problem for me, like from a storytelling perspective, is that everything seems like on the same level of seriousness throughout, or like there's not like a ramp up for the main arc for the main character. So like the incompetence being like rife or whatever, that might be there, but because it's like everything's operating on this same heightened level the entire time, it feels just very flat. And I'm not sure what I wasn't sure I didn't even clock that because it's just like, this is just the world we're in. I didn't even think about it. Like I don't know. So it's not that it's necessarily has nothing to say or anything like that, but it's not really like communicating that to me very well. I would say.
Well, I want to also too another thing, because we talked about the idea of the science of it and the fear of science. In this case, it's again, it's almost like a spy aspect too, of like, you don't know who's watching, you don't know who's listening. This like not being able to trust the environment that you're in. So it's not even like in Frankenstein, it's like the idea of like electricity and changing the world and playing God. And in this case, it's almost like just man wielding power to hurt the common man in a way, you know? So it's like a same kind of aspect, but it's through a different lens, I feel like. A different fear lens.
Yeah. It just doesn't seem as pointedly critical of science as Frankenstein was, if we're going to look at it that way. Like, I don't know. It doesn't seem like, oh, he's a scientist that went too far. He is, but he's not somebody who's like, it's not his ambition that drove him insane. It was literally him experimenting on things, and he just kind of fucked up. Like, he just kind of fucked up, and now he is
just fucked up. I just fucked up
a little bit. Just a little reign and tear, you know?
Well, I mean, that's a byproduct of him just doing science. And it's like, is science just bad in general? Because the thing with Victor, or with Henry Frankenstein or whatever, is that it was him like, I want to be God. There's none of that to start with. There's no like Prometheus moment that we see for what's the Invisible Man's real name? Whatever his name is, like Jack, where he's just like, I want to be invisible so I can rain terror on people. He just gets there.
That's not why he wanted to be invisible. No. Yeah.
I do appreciate that when he gets to the end, he's like, bring me a sandwich and then just leave me the fuck alone. But they won't do it, and it drives him fucking nuts. That's like what it felt like the first time I watched it. I was like, that's what set him off. But like, he's really just been crazy the whole fucking time. That shit is hilarious.
Time,
that
bring me the fucking sandwich.
That woman with her mustard fucking ruined the world, basically. Like, oh, I forgot your mustard, sir. Man,
I love that one.
He's also
mustard.
He's like obsessed with strangling people. Like, he doesn't bother killing people in almost any way, I guess, other than like driving the train.
Well, that's the way you'd have to sneak up on somebody, though, right? If you picked up something, they'd see you coming, so you got to strangle them.
Just me mitts.
But if you can sneak up,
you got to hide it in your butt. You know, that's like, the only way.
The God pocket. You can't bring God into it, though.
Man, is that how it works? I don't know, because like if he swallows something, you can see it going down his gullet.
But it's only because he's got to digest it. So eventually it does disappear. So at some point,
they don't see.
So if you shove something undigested up your pooper, you're gonna see it sticking out of your pooper.
But they don't see. The man's got poop in him, but you don't see it.
You don't see it.
You just see the
poop is part of the man. I think we all
because it becomes part of the man.
The poop makes the man.
If you leave the plug in long enough, it goes invisible. You just got to leave it in there long enough.
It becomes one with the man.
Oh my god! You gotta
plug it up.
The rules are getting less clear by the second.
It is like
by the second.
I guess I don't know. Yeah, the food gets. I don't know. That doesn't make sense. It seems like because the poop was food, you would see the poop too. But like, you don't see his blood or his veins or his muscles or anything that is of him. But
right, like when it becomes chemicals in his body, I can understand that being, but like the waste, which is what poop is, should still be visible. So you just see like poop going through the air is what you should see.
This would be a 5-star movie if they did that.
If they did that,
5 stars.
The Invisible Man, the Invisible Man, except for the poop, that's not a movie that sells.
You just call it the visible shit. That's
the very visible shit.
That's the trauma version of the Invisible Man is the visible shit.
I think, the very visible mang shits. Yes,
extraordinarily visible shit. I don't. Yeah. Anyways, do you guys have anything else?
That was a nice tangent.
You want to touch
I have nothing else for this movie. I like the. I don't know. Like ultimately, the big thing for me is just that it wasn't as philosophical as I kind of I assumed that it would be. So it's partially on me.
Yeah, it feels way more popcorny, I think, which kind of works in some ways and in others doesn't. But
I can't really hold it against it, but I also do.
Yeah, Juice, did you have any other points you want to hit before we rate this thing?
No, I can put it in my wrap up. I think the only thing I'm really gonna like focus on too is just the overall performance. I think, but yeah, I can just bring it up.
All right, let's do it. Out of 5, let's go ahead and rate The Invisible Man. Juice, why don't you kick us off? How do you feel?
Yeah, I don't know. I find this one very entertaining. It's not as like thought provoking as Frankenstein, I guess. But even with Frankenstein, I don't know. Maybe it's because I know the source material so much that even though it's trying to be more like thought provoking, it doesn't hit as hard because I know the original story. So, but I think the performance is really great. Who plays the lead in here? Sorry, I was just trying to pull
Rains,
it up.
Right?
Yeah, Claude Rains. And I think he does a really good job. And I really love the effects of this. And I love that they kind of like sell it in special moments, like when she comes in, bringing the mustard. And I love how he is insane, but I love how he kind of ramps up and he just gets where he's fucking fed up with it. And he just goes zany insane, which I think that's important to sell, that he is fucking insane, which makes some of the illogical things sell a little bit better. Like, why the fuck would he do that? It's like, he's fucking crazy. And I do like too, the ending is really cool too. I like the idea where they're like, well, when he dies, the body's not going to be processing the chemical anymore, so it's going to come back to life, and like him kind of fading in. I think it's they do the little bit of thing where they kind of just hand wave it away of like, in the end he's regretful, and so there's some sympathy for him and stuff like that. But I don't know. I think the fear really comes through too when Kemp is introduced. Before, he's like really just fucking with people. And even when he kills the cop, it's like not that impactful. But I like the idea of Kemp being afraid for his life, because he literally just opens the door to, he's just living his life. This dude shows up, he's invisible, and just kind of forces his will upon him. And he's trying to make him do illegal, terrible things, kill people, hurt people, and stuff like that. And so he's just trying his best to escape this impossibly ridiculous, scary situation. Everybody's like, yeah, I don't know. He could be like in this room. I don't, and I think that that's a pretty cool aspect of it. I think that the effects hold up really well. I think the performance is really good. I like it a lot. It's, probably not as good as Frankenstein, but it's entertaining for me. So I think I'll give it a 3.5. And thinking now, I kind of wish I bumped everything up a 0.5. Bob, go back. Frankenstein's a 4.5. Invisible Man is a 4.
Wait, what is is it a 4? Is that what you want?
No, I'll give it a 3.5 because I don't think it's quite as good as Frankenstein, but now I wish I kind of gave Frankenstein a little higher so I could make this a 4. But it's fine. 3.5.
It's fine.
I'll tell you, Harry. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Randy, Invisible Man. How do you feel?
So I think I've been like, I've kind of like spilled my guts about how I reacted to this movie already. I don't have a lot more to add. I really think that it's a little bit of like overestimation of what I was going to get, or like a misestimation of what I was going to get, that kept me pretty sour on this watching it. I do see a lot of the value in the points you've made, Justin. Like I don't think that this is a bad movie necessarily, and it's certainly like for the time it's still very like interesting that there's a movie like this from that era, and like it fits in its time period, and I think it would stand out in its time period is I guess what I was trying to get at. But as a modern viewer, expecting like a little bit more meat on the bone, a little bit more like philosophy in the background, it fell a little flat for me, man. It just it didn't hit the things that, like, some of the crazy zaniness was fun. The extras, the especially the barkeep woman, I really liked that performance. I thought it was scene stealing, and in a way that made me laugh. But overall, I kind of just felt like it hit kind of dull for me. So I think at the end of the day, I'm going to give it a 3. It's still a positive experience, but it's not one that I'm going to probably return to anytime soon. It's, it's required viewing, but it's not required repeat viewing, in my opinion.
Right on. So
Bob.
Hey, how's it going?
Out of 5.
Hey there.
Hater, holder. Yeah, like I said, this is not one of my favorite Universal monster movies, but I think I am grading all of these on a sort of curve here. Just, again, trying to place myself in the day this came out and, like, watching these effects on screen just really... I mean, they're inventing a ton of shit here. I mean, this was based on a book, which I have not read, so I don't know how similar it is. But, I mean, I think this movie, just, like, on imagery, technique, and performance alone, like, is totally worth watching, and like, it brings a lot of like respect to the movie for me anyways. It's a little goofy, it's maybe a little thin on the plot, but I think Claude Rains does a really great job, and there's a level of goofiness that I think would benefit to be aware of before putting it on, because like you come in from a Dracula or Frankenstein, the two better known movies from this era, and those are like deathly serious, and you probably would expect a similar tone for this movie. It's just not the case at all. He's like a stark mad lunatic laughing as he runs naked through the streets. So I don't know, like I can respect this movie.
We've all been there, eh, boys?
We have.
We've all hog-jogged our way into infamy before.
Oh yeah, we've all taken a little something extra and got a little.
I'm invisible.
Randy might end up that way tonight. He keeps going with those sojus.
Oh, Rand Diesel. I
just had the one soju. I mean, look, it's gone. It's tapped.
So, yeah, I think I respect this movie more than I outright enjoy it. Ultimately, it's kind of like my main thought, I guess. So I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5. Decent movie.
Yeah.
Grading on a curve. But yeah, 4 from your boy Bob. That's going to make our aggregate a 3.5 for The Invisible Man from 1933. Juice, why don't you take us over to the Rotten Maters segment?
Oh, shit.
Certified.
All right, we're going to play this game again. Randy already explains how it works. I'm eating right now.
Perfect.
It's morning time. All right, so heading over to the critics score first. There are only, surprisingly, 58 reviews for this. So, Randy, I'll let you go second, since I know this isn't usually a game that you play. I'll let you gauge where Rob's going to go first.
I don't play that game.
Okay. You don't play often. So, Bob, from those 58 reviews, what do you think the overall critic score is?
Yeah, it's a low number. I think it'll be high, but definitely not Frankenstein high. So I'll take an 86, I think.
The boys.
I'll take the boys.
All right. They're here to play, baby.
Always.
Nah.
Don't
try and play me.
Randy, Bob took the boys, so you can't have them. Where are you going to go?
I guess I'll take the girls.
How many?
Twist my arm.
I think I'm gonna go for a hopeful tie. I like that method, so I'll go for the 84. Let me go
84, taking the under. You boys don't respect this film. Well, you don't respect it, but the critics do. This is certified fresh with a 95%. Bob is gonna take this one.
Damn.
That's a 9% difference. I'm gonna do Randy's math thing here.
Math thing. I invented that.
You made math.
It's higher than higher than Frankenstein. That's insane.
That's why I was kind of, when I was looking at mine, I was like really surprised. Yeah, I was really surprised.
Truly, truly surprising.
Yep, heading over to the old popcorn meter. This one has 10,000 plus ratings, so still seems kind of low, but I mean, a much larger sample size. We'll go in reverse, playing the reverse card here. Rand Diesel, kick us off. What do you think?
I don't know. I'm let's keep it simple. I'm gonna go 80.
80. Okay, Bob.
Yeah.
Solid guess. Give me The Boys again. Project 86.
Bob's doubling down on The Boys.
Damn.
Yeah,
there it is.
That's how you drop it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it is lower. It's lower on the popcorn meter. I can't remember what Frankenstein's popcorn meter was, to be honest, but this one is lower than the tomatometer. We are sitting at an 85%. Bob's going to take it again. Just 1 point off. Ran Diesel. How are you going to give him so many hell skeets? God damn, you're ruining my day.
Look, I want to go for a perfect losing record.
I think that's what you did last year too.
Oops, all skeet.
I'm not good at the game. There's a reason I run the game.
We have a lot more practice. Whoa, Bob. So the critic consensus is so Bob's sitting at 3 skeets now. So I gotta up my game next time.
That's usually where I top out for the day.
James Whale's classic The Invisible Man features still sharp special effects, loads of tension, a goofy sense of humor, and a memorable debut from Claude Rains. Let's see. Are there any negatives that I can see right off the bat and do Randy's little thing too? God, I feel like every time I go on this, they reorganize it so it looks different. I'm just going to read this first one and cross my fingers. Hope it's hilarious. Mr. Wells' original idea had the element of humor as well as stark terror in it. In the film, the humor misses all its glorious opportunities and the terror is robbed. Now, that's one thing, too. None of us are familiar. We're all a lot more familiar with the Frankenstein source material, but none of it, apparently, this is saying that the source material on this one is a lot more humorous. So
interesting.
And I believe, I don't know if it's included. I wrote all my trivia down at least like a week ago, so I can't remember if I included it or not. But I will say one thing that I did read was that the writer for this looked at how Frankenstein was adapted and was like, well, I kind of want to do a more faithful iteration to the source material. Like, I feel like they went too far off on Frankenstein. So I think this is closer. So I guess maybe they were really trying to stick the humor.
I don't know anything about the original, but I can say like this feels like a more typical adaptation where it's mainly suffering from a lack of like the internal monologue or whatever. I think if they had like Jack's internal monologue of like his reasoning for why he's behaving exactly how he is, or like his mindset as he's saying things, it would go a long way, probably, which is what I assume is in the book. I have no idea, but I'm assuming that.
Yeah, I was going to see. So this next one, this is the only other rotten one I can see. I can scroll more after this, but it says good for some shivers, hardly as effective on the screen as in print. So yeah. So I don't know. I think that's
seems like the book is worth reading.
No, yeah, it does. It does. But everything else I can see is positive. Yeah, that's it. It's all positive. So those are only rotten critiques there.
Right on. You got any more trivia?
I got some trivia, baby.
Let's do it.
It's totally time for trivia.
Okay, so in order to achieve the effect that Claude Rains wasn't there when his character took off the bandages, James Whale had Rains dressed completely in black velvet and filmed him in front of a black velvet background. Still don't really know how that works, especially with the back, like when you can see through him. I don't really know.
It's keying. It's the same method as like green screen or blue screen.
But how'd they do that without the? Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, it's cool.
I don't know how it's done in analog. I don't know that.
Yeah, because you can like see through. I mean, you can see the outline. It's not perfect,
right? Because velvet has reflections and stuff, right? Like,
so
it's not a perfect situation. But I think I don't know if they invented that technique for this film. I would not be that shocked if that were true, but it had to have been very, very early in its existence.
Yeah. There is a total body count of 123. 4 murders are depicted directly on screen. 18 search party members are off screen. The derailment of the train results in 100 deaths and the death of Dr. Griffin himself. So in total, Dr. Griffin kills 122 people before he is killed, making him one of the most bloodthirsty villains of the old Universal Picture horror film.
Yeah, easily. That's more than most modern slashers. Jesus
I know,
Christ.
yeah.
It's just like in terms of sheer numbers, that is fucking impressive.
Yeah. Reign of Terror achieved. So, I mean, Frankenstein's monster, he only killed one little girl. I mean, Invisible Man, he's got 122 on his belt
what
there.
A poser.
Said you got to pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers,
Those are rookie numbers.
I'm very disappointed in you.
The basic framework of the story and the characters' names are largely the same as in H.G. Wells' novel, but there are several great differences, including the novel takes place in 1897. The film takes place in 1933. Whoa. In the novel, the invisibility process includes a chemical compound that takes the color out of organic material along with the use of vibrations. Whoa. Hey. Similar to X-rays. In the film, drugs alone do the trick. In the novel, Griffin remains almost a completely mysterious person with no fiance or friends. In the film, he is engaged to a woman and has the support of her father and his associate. In the novel, Griffin was always an egomaniac with no empathy for his fellow man. In the film, the invisibility drug causes him to go mad. Okay, there you go. In the novel, Kemp lives. In the film, Griffin kills him. In the novel's humorous sidekick Thomas Marvel is left out of the film. Oh, okay. So I guess there's a more humorous sidekick in the novel. His name is Thomas. I just have one more thing. The reporter who offers suggestions to the Dwight Fryer is at around 57 minutes. The reporter who offers suggestions to the police officer. He is best known for playing Renfield. Oh, it's the same guy.
Shit,
okay, so the guy who played Renfield, Fritz, and Carl. He plays Carl in Bride of Frankenstein. He plays Fritz in Frankenstein. He plays Renfield in Dracula. And in this film, he is the reporter who offers suggestions to the police chief. Oh, I guess when they're asking, like, how do we catch him or whatever.
He's just getting his bag every fucking movie.
There you go.
Give me my bag.
Baby.
I would like my bag, please.
That's it. That's all the trivia I have. That's the
Sweet.
Invisible Man. Time to head over to the old Wolfman.
Is
We
the
got all the
Wolfman
mangs today, boys.
In the audience,
we're doing the
Let's
Wolfman.
See if there's a back of the box.
Let's do it.
Here we go.
What's on the back of the box?
Now, Bob, do you possess this box?
So, Bob, tell us a little bit about the box that you've been watching this on. So, how many movies are in that box?
So, this is 8 movies. It's
one payment's worth.
Creature, Bride, Mummy, Phantom, Invisible Man, Wolfman, Frankenstein, Dracumang. And
Dracumang.
Yes, 8 Blu-rays. Bam. There you go. All in one box.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
You can buy these movies a million times over. They're everywhere. They're on Blu-ray, 4K, DVD. You can stream them all.
They're about to be public domain.
They're everywhere.
Whoa.
The Wolfman from 1941. Runtime of 1 hour and 10 minutes. Directed by George Wagner. Written by Kurt Slodmack. These names are fucking killer. Siodmak, probably. Anyway. Claude Rains stars in this one.
Slodmack.
My boy Slodmack. Warren William. Ralph
Sounds
Bellamy.
like some dirty mac and cheese or something.
You want some of this fancy slod mac I made
half
you?
slaw, half mac. Plot synopsis brought to you by IMDb is as follows. Upon his return to his father's estate, aristocrat Larry Talbot meets a beautiful woman, attends a mystical carnival, and uncovers a horrifying curse Sounds like a good weekend to me.
We've all been there,
boys. Have we seen The Wolfman before? Would we recommend folks at home check it out? Rand Diesel, kick us off.
Another first time watch for me. This is one of the big ones that I had never gotten around to. I'm frankly like just not that hot on like werewolves in general, like out of the original
vamp
Monsters
boy, hey,
canon.
Randy. I know where you're landing.
What?
I'm more of a vamp boy, huh?
Just a vamp.
I'm a vamp boy, you know. No, it's just the one that interested me the least because I don't know. It just doesn't for whatever reason. I don't know if I can identify the reason, but it's just never really been of interest to me. Would I recommend? Again, it's homework on some level. Like I think it's ground level for at least werewolf movies, and certainly for like informative of the origination of film horror. I was pleasantly surprised by this movie because I think it's the inverse of what happened with Invisible Man. Like, I think ultimately I'm getting similar quality movies, but my expectation was lower for this one just because I'm not that interested in the topic material. So, my experience was, I would recommend this. I had a good time with it. I think that it has some very silly, like old-fashioned things happening in it, but also some really fun things that are like chintzy in the right way. You know what I mean? So I would recommend.
Juice, what about you?
I'm going to be flipped on this one. This one was, it was a first time watch for me. So this is not one that I watched a couple years ago. Never seen this before. And we talk a lot about how difficult werewolves are to do. So I was kind of curious about how the original was done. I was very familiar with, where is he? You know, the iconic look of this one, or just the general look of him. So I was curious how they were going to do it old school style. I was not as hot on this one. I was happy. I will say that originally when I was doing my triple feature, I had picked The Mummy, and because I had never seen that one either, and I felt like that one kind of doesn't get talked about as much, and I started to watch it and it looked very hot and dusty, and I was like, that is not good for spooky season. So I pivoted to Wolfman, and I am happy that I did that, honestly, because it does bring the vibes. I think it's an okay watch for spooky season, brings the fog and everything, so it's got the vibes, but the general story and things I was a little disappointed on. So this is not a strong recommend for me. I just kind of shrug, it's loose, very, very loose recommend, I guess, just as a classic. But not essential watching. Bob, how about you? Would you recommend people check out The Wolfman?
Yeah, I would actually. This was maybe my second watch of this, second, maybe third. And this, I actually really like this movie. This is sort of towards the top of my list for the Universal monster movies. It's obviously very foundational for werewolf flicks, and I think there's some really solid performances. There's some hokey stuff in this, like there is in really all of these movies, to be fair.
Some hokey pokey.
But there's some pretty cool, like early transformation-y stuff going on. There's some early werewolf lore, and definitely got some heavy, spooky woods vibes that I like. And I think this story feels like it has a little bit more to it than some of the other Universal monster movies. So I dig it. Yeah, I'd recommend checking it out for sure. That sounds like...
There's gonna be a party when the wolf comes home.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
Mostly recommend? 2 out of 3? Mostly recommend?
Yeah.
So we're going to be spoiling the shit out of the Wolfman, and here comes your warning.
Spoiler warning.
Bob, back on plot synopsis duty.
Back where I belong.
Get back where you belong, Bob.
All right.
On plot synopsis.
Back in the box, Bob.
What's in the box? It's Bob.
Get to the back of the box.
It's a Bob in the box. All right. Here's a plot synopsis. Your boy Larry Talbot returns home to Lonwilly, Wales, to bury his brother and reconcile with his father. He falls in love with a girl named Gwen who runs an antique shop. He ends up buying a cane from her with a silver wolf head on top. She mentions it represents a werewolf, which is a man who turns into a wolf at certain times of the year and always sees a pentagram on the hand of his next victim. Gwen refuses Larry's advances several times, but eventually does agree to go out with him and have their palms read. She does invite her friend Jenny to come along with her. The palm reader sees the pentagram on Jenny's hand and tells her she must run away now. Meanwhile, Gwen tells Larry she's already engaged. At this time, they hear Jenny get attacked by a wolf. Larry kills it with his cane, but is bitten in the chest by the wolf. The police investigate and find Jenny's throat torn out, and the palm reader, now having been beaten to death by Larry's cane, also dead. The cops think Larry killed the palm reader, especially because there's no evidence of a wolf like he claims, and the wound on his chest is miraculously healed overnight. Additionally, the townsfolk suspect there's a bit of adultery between Gwen and Larry since they were alone together. However, Gwen's fiance Frank, stand-up dude, he believes they're innocent. The palm reader's mother, Maleva, tells Larry her son was indeed a wolf, and he is now too because he got bit by him. She tells him only silver can kill a wolf and gives him a charm to wear to prevent the transformation from happening. Larry, unsure about what she said, ends up giving the charm to Gwen to protect her from him if it's true. The next night, he transforms and kills a villager. The authorities set traps believing a wild wolf is on the loose. Larry transforms again the following evening, and he's caught in one of the traps, but Maleva uses a spell to temporarily turn him back so he can escape. Larry, now convinced he is a wolf, tells Gwen he's leaving town, and he sees a pentagram on her hand. He also tells his dad that he's leaving town, and his dad thinks he's fucking delusional and ties him to a chair so he can't leave, also hoping to prove to him that he is not a werewolf. The moon rises, Larry transforms yet again, attacks Gwen. Larry's father, not realizing the wolf is his son, bashes him over the head with a cane that his son gave him previously. Maleva arrives yet again and uses a spell to turn Larry back human. Larry's dad looks on in horror as he's confronted with the corpse of his son that he just murdered. Roll them credits. Wolfman.
Yeah. That's the
This is
Invisible
probably
Man
the best. This
playing
is
the
probably
dad.
the best. Yeah, this is probably the best ending.
Yeah, it feels like it really comes full circle. I don't know if this has the underlying sort of meaning that maybe Frankenstein does, but I think it has a little more going on under the hood than maybe the Invisible Man does. Somewhere in the middle there, perhaps.
I think I don't know about, like, it doesn't have like the deep philosophy of Frankenstein, certainly, and I didn't feel that in Invisible Man either. But what this does have is like a pretty clear arc and story for our lead, like, and a relatable one. We have a relatable lead in this, which is not something we've seen in the other two films. Somebody that, like, you can understand, at least they're going through some shit. Like, you can understand where they're starting and where they're ending are different places. So I feel like the Invisible Man is just kind of in the same place the entire movie. I feel like Frankenstein, we start kind of at the fever pitch of insanity for the doctor, and the creature is just kind of like at that level of like barely functioning, low intelligence, sort of like bumbling, not quite villainy. And that's kind of its own thing. For this one, it feels like a story. You know what I mean? Like a full arc of some kind.
More
Whether
meat
or
on
not
the
it's perfect
bones.
is a different question.
It feels more whole. You've got, like, again, this like really rich white dude coming home and like reconciling with his father, but then you've also got like the Romani camp coming to town, and they've got this carnival happening, and like all the people that live in this town, like, they all know about werewolves. Like, they've got this folklore. They even have this little rhyme that they all repeat throughout the whole movie, and like everybody's kind of aware. But since Larry's been gone for like over a decade, they have to like explain it to him and like get him caught up, which benefits the audience, of course. And I don't know, it feels like a more of a full world and a full story. Like, right. I think it's maybe for like a modern audience, maybe a little bit easier to digest than the other two movies.
More digestible, yeah. I think
one of my biggest problems with this movie is I don't like Larry.
Yeah, he's
I agree with you, honestly. I don't like him very much either. but I at least understand it. Like I think he's like, I understand what the story wants me to think about him, so it's easy for me to track the progress of the story and understand where we are and what the story is trying to tell me about what's happening. Whether or not I think he's like the way he like courts this woman, if you want to call it that, is extraordinarily fucked up by today's standards.
It's insane. Yeah, you're going on a date with me. Basically, he's like, you're going.
He meets her by way of peeping on her.
So, and he doesn't even really try to hide it. He's like, "Oh, I like those earrings you're wearing, or whatever." Whatever. It's like, she's like, "How the fuck did you know that?
Fucking weirdo." It's pretty fucking creepy. Weird. Yeah,
it's super creepy. But also too, he's just so fucking stupid because all of the. I think there's a lot of hole. I mean, yes, there is a complete story. There's a lot of holes in it too. One, the original werewolf is the fortune teller man, and I don't understand why he's working on a night when he knows he's going to transform into a werewolf. And he's traveling with all of these people who I assume know that he's a werewolf. He's living with them. He's traveling with them. He's just showed up in this place and he's like shocked. Oh my God. He sees the pentagram on her palm, and he doesn't do anything to prevent it. And then later, the same person who he's traveling with, who he lives with, gives the thing to Larry so that he doesn't transform. Why wasn't the other guy wearing that thing? And then also, too, why doesn't Larry just be like, "Hey, can I have my fucking necklace back so I don't transform into a fucking werewolf?" It's so stupid.
Needed to not exist.
Yeah, that's the thing. They have too many.
It's
too many elements like that
exist.
That are just really stupid.
Look, I agree with you on those points, but I will say that is not exclusive to this movie. If we're going to be like, we're comparing these movies all night long, Frankenstein had an entire village gear up to fucking go hunt a creature they didn't know existed at all and never saw. Like, they never
knew somebody
encountered.
killed the little girl. They didn't know they were chasing
somebody
a monster.
Killed the little girl. They didn't know it was a fucking corpse man. Like, they didn't know that anything about this. They just like, this girl is dead. She drowned. I don't know anything else. Let's go hunting for dead creature people.
I think they were just going hunting for the murderer. I don't think even at the end when they burned it down. Oh, yeah, I guess.
They just found a girl that drowned. That's what happened, and that led to pitchforks and torches. That doesn't make sense.
Nah, it kind of does a little bit.
But this, I mean, really, I think there's just like too many holes. I mean, I do like the aspect of the dad not being able to expect it or accept it, especially since the brother has died. And because there have been different iterations with that, which I like the more element of the brother.
I wish the brother tied into the story more.
Me too. Yeah, that's kind of where I was getting at. I kind of wish that was the kind of tragedy of it, is that he was only brought back.
They say it was a hunting accident. So like he could have been in the woods and got attacked by a werewolf. And
that's what I assumed. I thought that they were going to bring that back. Like that seems like setting the stage for some revelation, and that revelation doesn't come. And I do think that was a missed opportunity.
Well, and it's another one of those things where it kind of bothers me now because it's a little bit in the same way of Dracula, but in this case, it's kind of like punching down a little bit, where it does feel like it has that element of the foreigners brought this on us. It's their fault. They come into our town and they bring this disease and it wreaks havoc. And this poor, like you said, this poor privileged man who's, it's just like, it's his fault. Yeah. Because, which again, why would he be working and telling fortunes on the full moon night and not know he's going to transform into a werewolf? It definitely seems
like his mom was fully aware. So if she had a necklace, he'd be wearing it. It is a little strange. And it does kind of have that context of like the other bringing this terrible thing to your town and ruining your life.
It does, but I don't know that I fully agree that it feels worse than I feel like it's way underplayed for what I would expect from the era. Like, I actually don't think that anybody outwardly says anything about like, well, you can't trust those people or anything quite like that. they just like, and people are engaging with them fine, like, oh, the Romani or whatever they call them are in town.
I mean, they call them gypsies in the movie. Yeah,
they call them gypsies, and it's not a proper thing anymore.
I also think there's
we'll go like get our fortune read. It'll be fun. Like they don't take it super seriously, but it feels like the carnival's in town, and like you don't have like immediate negative associations with people just working at a carnival necessarily.
And the whole
if you do, you don't like just say it.
That's
like
preferred
you don't like
nomenclature.
fucking carnies. Goddamn, let's go. But like fuck them. Like there's none of that.
The whole town is like intimately aware of werewolves. Like I said, they've got that poem they recite over and over again. So I don't.
That's the confusing part.
I don't know if like maybe the Romani folk are like there regularly, but it seems like they're already dealing with werewolf. Like the werewolf thing is always a presence in this town, not just when the Romani folk are there. So maybe his brother was a werewolf and like somebody killed him when he was in the woods. I don't know, man. Maybe there's just some stuff that didn't make it to the screen necessarily. I see how you could interpret it that way, but I don't necessarily get that like ugly kind of, down with the Romani.
I don't get the
people.
racist vibe.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
but you know what? I like if I may reverse engineer this fucking American classic film for a second. I think that like if you had Claude Rains' dad, like him be like somewhat like racist towards the Romani. He's like, yeah, last time they came into town, your brother went missing, and they were involved with the hunting accident in some way. Then you could surmise that they're regular visitors. That maybe the werewolf stuff.
If he warned his son against, like, if he forbid him to go, but the women wanted to go, and he wanted to go on a date with him, that would have been good.
That's the woman's fault, and
it always
it makes it a more racist story. But if you counteract that by like in some way, I don't know, like I just feel like
that's
it's a
good call.
I do think that there's like, I think it's very like tempered in terms of like how it's talking about like it's not dealing with race relations. It's not making a statement about those things. In my opinion, it's really just some foreign folks are in town. They read fortunes. Let's go check it out. Like it's not a big deal.
There is a level of like science v religion or like mysticism or what, because like he apparently like when he comes to town, he like puts together this giant telescope for his dad, and he's clearly like a very brilliant person, but like when he's face to face with something that is not necessarily following whatever logic that he's aware of, whatever like modern day logic he's aware of, he has no idea how to handle it. Even when the Romani woman gives him a necklace and is like, here, you fucking idiot, wear this, it's gonna help you, and he still can't use it. Like he doesn't believe these things, and he's like questioning the wrong people when he should actually be believing them and stuff.
He doesn't immediately believe it. He eventually does.
He does
and
eventually.
That's where I feel like the relatability.
But still doesn't get the necklace back. That's what I was just saying.
That's a fair criticism.
The necklace just does not need to exist.
It shouldn't be in here. It shouldn't be in here. Especially when she can just show up and like, do whatever prayer or spell she does and like.
Did it ever protect anyone in this movie at all?
I don't think so.
Man.
I mean, Gwen doesn't die, but I don't know if she's even wearing
She also isn't attacked directly. Like,
but also too, if he doesn't believe it, why even give it to her? That's the whole thing.
It doesn't like stop her. They don't make a point of showing it, like rebuking him in some way.
No. His dad shows up and beats the hell out of him with that cane, which cane is kind of fly, dude. Honestly,
it's a dope cane. It's a pimp cane. But like it's. I feel like that is a tragic moment, and I do think that makes it a really more powerful ending than Invisible Man. It ends with a father who is like desperate for his son to stick around, convinces his son to stick around against his wishes, and then accidentally beats him to death, just like his brother who died, ending his lineage. Like it's a tragic end.
I mean, the movie starts with this guy losing a son and ends with him murdering his only remaining son. Yeah.
Basically, because he is unwilling to listen to what his son has to say. Like, there's something you could make out of that. Like, I do think that there is something interesting to that. It's just not like fully realized exactly. I don't think. I think maybe for the era, it's about as realized as it gets for the most part, at least in American cinema. Like, this is 41, so I think the Hays Code was in effect by this point.
Yeah, I don't know the dates on that. There's an element of like. him returning to his like small town home or whatever, and that killing him, and his brother never leaving, and it ultimately killing him too. Even though they're like clearly very wealthy, maybe even the richest family in the town, and like they want for nothing, but something about that town just like, I don't know, kills the family in one way or another. Like I said, the werewolfism, like I don't know if we're supposed to interpret that as like the lycanthropy is like the human's like most base instinct, you know, the like animalistic instinct that we can't quite escape. It's always there no matter how much book learning we do. And like them returning home like awakens that in them or something. I don't know. There's like levels there that are not fully
there's an animalism
developed. Yeah.
I agree. Like there's a lot that could be like done with it, and like a lot more than I would have given it credit for. Even having watched it, like I have to kind of like think about it more to get there. Yeah. So there is some failings or a lot of missed opportunities and a lot of like weird alleyways, but it still felt like it ended on a true ending. It started an arc, it finished the arc, it landed the plane to some degree, and I just really like the way that it ends in a very tragic note of this father, like who's already lost a son and whose big crime was being so overtly committed to being the reasonable one that he's not listening to his kids at the expense of their lives. I think that's really interesting and something worth making a movie about. So I don't know, not perfect, but like, I think the thing about it is like, to me, like I said, like I just came at this. I watched this third. I watched it in sequence, like we talked about it.
Yeah, me
so
too.
For me, it was like I came off of the heels of The Invisible Man with kind of like a down feeling about it, and I was like, okay, and now I'm going to the one I wasn't excited about. I was starting from pretty much not rock bottom, but lower than I would have liked to when I started this movie, and it had a lot more going for it than I would have guessed.
Yeah. And we haven't even really talked about like the imagery of the werewolf and the transformation and all that. Like the look of his face is very iconic. And I like when they have the transformation in this, which is like always a very pivotal key scene in any werewolf movie you see, is like, can they pull the transformation off, or is it going to look really hokey? And they focus on his feet, which I think is probably a smart thing to do, especially back in 1941 when they're very limited resources. But I think it works overall. It's almost like a time lapse kind of thing, where they're really just fading from one image into the other, and they're showing like the hair growth on his feet and like the actual shape of his feet change. I think that's a pretty smart way to go about it. And then he like walks into the woods, and then you finally see like the full figure, who I'm pretty sure is wearing clothes that like he was never ever wearing before. Like he got gussied up to go out in the woods. He put on like his hunting shirt or whatever, you know.
Look, you got to get prepped.
You don't.
That's the thing about this one is like of the these old style films. Dracula is very iconic. Frankenstein is very iconic. I think that the Invisible Man design holds up really well. It's really creepy. Werewolf is always hard. That's why there's not a lot of them. You got the transformation, you got the look of them. I think this, as an adult, even I think Creature from the Black Lagoon still like looks really good. Even as
the weakest look.
Yeah, as a young kid, it was like the goofiest looking to me. And it's one that is not as iconic because everyone's trying to do their own style of werewolf. Like nobody's really replicating this the way they would Frankenstein or Invisible Man, right? Like those are the ones that have a solid foundation that people just kind of reuse.
Well, because
Wolfman is not that.
They have a wolf, like
yeah,
they can look at a wolf and say like that's what a wolf looks like. And
sure.
When it comes to Frankenstein, either you go for like it's a true corpse, or you go for an iconic image.
Yeah,
and even with mummies and stuff, it's kind of the same thing.
I just think Wolfman overall of like the iconic type of monsters is the weakest, and it's because of what it's got to pull from and the time it was made. I do think that they probably did about as good as they could do, but it doesn't really necessarily, like I can look at Frankenstein and say, wow, 100 years later, that still looks good, or that's, a very interesting design. Today, I don't necessarily think that about the Wolfman. I can be forgiving and say for the time it was probably good, or about as good as they could do, but I don't think, I don't really think it's that great.
two things about it for me, just two quick things. One is, I tend to agree. Like the general look of it, it's hard to pull off. It's harder to pull off when you are in an earlier era where like makeup effects had not come quite as far. I think because there are two things that you know what they look like. You're not like guessing. You've encountered at least a dog, so you have some idea like what people and dogs look like. How do you meld those together?
Yeah,
it's harder to make that believable, I think, in a way that doesn't seem silly. And I think that like for me the transformation, it worked fine, but in my mind I know that I've seen a classic era monster movie that showed the face growing the hair and all that stuff, and that I was waiting for that scene the whole movie. I was like, wow, they're really holding it back until like the last transformation or something. It must have been like one of the sequels, one of the later ones, and like because the feet changing was like. Ultimately, it was less than what I expected. I was expecting a more impressive effect because I have seen it. It's just not from this movie, as it turns out.
Yeah, I think I'm a little warmer on the design than you guys are. It, in comparison to like Frankenstein and Dracula, it doesn't quite hold up to that level. But I think it is iconic in its own right, and even the like goof. It's like very silly. That he would then put on clothes that he's never worn before throughout the entire movie. But even like that shirt and like his pants is like kind of part of the costume.
Sure.
So it's got this like vibe to it. In addition to that, like I love the spooky lighting in the woods and the low-lying fog. The bits of lore, there's a lot of like pretty like standard classic werewolf lore in this. Like, can only be killed by silver. He transforms on the full moon. If you get bit by a werewolf, you become a werewolf. Like a lot of that's pretty consistent. But the one thing that I don't remember seeing in another werewolf movie, and I could be wrong, is like the whole pentagram on the palm thing. Like that seems, as far as I can recall, like pretty original to this film.
That was not something I was familiar with either. Also, like the tattoo, the star-shaped tattoo or whatever, which they said any animal can make that mark. I was like, no,
not correct.
No.
Which I thought like kind of worked against the whole idea. I like the idea that he got hurt, he got bit, people saw that he was hurt. The very next day, it was healed. He found that very strange. Everybody else just kind of waved it off. I like that aspect of like nobody trusted or believed him, and he was like trying to do his best to protect everyone, to protect himself, to get out, and the situation around it, everyone else around it, particularly his dad, nobody could accept it, and that's ultimately they all kind of pay the price because of it, including him. So I like that aspect of it. Another thing is we got Screaming and Creaming tonight. Had to get a little cream today for our 3-hour run. So,
creaming,
little ice cream there.
That dream.
Ooh.
But I will say, since I've been the most critical on it, to go off what Bob was saying, I think this one has the vibes. I really do like when they go out into the woods. Every time they go out into the woods, the fog is great. Again, it's bringing some of those things that we had in Frankenstein, where you have these silhouettes that work really well with the black and white. In this case, it's particularly like the trees and with the low-lying fog and stuff. It just works really well. And even just the camp is like a pretty cool aspect of it too. So I do think, again, when I watched this, I was really happy that I didn't ultimately end up doing The Mummy, because this one felt definitely more appropriate for this autumn season, for a spooky night, type of vibe. So I get why it's kind of a classic in that way. But one more aspect of and not making a whole lot of sense. The gypsy who is a werewolf before was just a wolf. So why is this guy a wolf man?
He was just a wolf, but like we only, I think, really see him for like a second, where he's like, and it's kind of obscured. I think it's meant to be
when he's biting Larry. You get
he's biting Larry,
decent.
Is he? Yeah, I guess that's
like, he's just a wolf. And even Larry, he didn't say it was a wolf man.
It's a wolf.
He's like, there was a wolf attacking the woman, and I beat it to death.
It was the dark, the fog of night sort of thing.
Yeah, that is true. That is a little interesting. Maybe you take different forms, depending on the person. I don't know. It's possible.
I don't know.
They don't explain
I think it's
it.
just inconsistent. Probably is
That-
more likely.
That character, the palm reader, the character's name in the movie is Bella, and it was played by Bella Lugosi, actually.
Yeah,
A little sneaky Bella Lugosi.
yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it's
That's a
just
nice way
a
to
wolf.
sneak him in there.
Just a wolf. He's a wolf man, but not a wolf man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
That's like I don't know. Like it's not like this is as much as Frankenstein is like the prototype for just like Frankenstein and Dracula are a prototype for like just horror movies, even though they both feature monsters. This feels like the prototype for a monster movie specifically. And monster movies almost like to me almost always are a little bit lacking in the logic department, or they're overbearing in the logic department. It's kind of one or the other.
Yeah, I mean the Wolfman that we kicked the year off talking about, the new one from Lee Winnell. Yeah, did Lee Winnell do that? Yeah, I think. Yeah, just like pretty simplistic, but like really does beat you over the head with its theme. But at the end of the day, is an extremely underwhelming monster movie, and like this,
movie sucks butt.
yeah, it really does. Yeah, I mean this has like a lot of things I think it's toying with. Maybe the messaging isn't totally solidified in a way that maybe a modern audience would prefer, but I think overall it's just a way more successful and satisfying monster movie for sure.
It feels complete, and it doesn't end on a thud, which does leave a lasting impression for me.
The ending is great. I mean, the ending really kind of solidifies like, oh, you should have listened to your son. He was doing his best to get out of here. You brought him back. Whoa.
Bless you.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
In the first place. And so I did, that did feel like a very satisfying kind of ending where even like Frankenstein, as big as an iconic as it is, has that weird, random fucking ending. And then Invisible Mang tries to like force him to have like a little bit of sympathy there at the end. So I think this is the best ending. And I just kind of wish it feels weird because it feels like the whole situation that they set up with Larry, it's almost all of it is almost designed not to like him, because even the aspect of the woman being engaged, it's like it's a guy who works for that family, so he can't even really be mad about it. So he's understanding, but it's because he's in a lower position. So it just everything is designed to where I was just like, I kind of fucking hate Larry.
Sensibilities thing. I agree with you, but I think it's very much a modern sensibilities thing.
I think
where it's
so
like,
too. Yeah.
Courting multiple people was not as uncommon back in the day. Being like betrothed to somebody.
If only we could go back to the 40s.
Look, going steady was when it got serious. You know what I mean?
I think he's portrayed as like a man's man, and like, I think you are actually supposed to be like, he's supposed to be
charming by a standard that is not acceptable by today's standards. I think is the issue.
He takes what he wants. It's bad. Yeah,
it's bad.
It's bad.
We need to reclaim our masculinity, guys.
Oh boy, I got plenty of that. Don't you worry.
You gotta take it back, Juice. You gotta take it back.
It's not gone anywhere, Bob. Don't you worry about that.
On my bed. Yes.
But I was reflecting. I mean, there are some key, good werewolf movies. I think American Werewolf in London is probably my favorite, and I think the most accomplished of those. Of course, Ginger Snaps is really good. And then even, honestly, with all the kind of bullshit we've gotten, I've gotten a lot softer on that one that's got Anthony Hopkins in it or whatever. Yeah, because that one's got that one tries to do it right, I think. And I think that one's pretty solid.
It's not so bad. The one from like the early 2000s,
like 2010 maybe or something maybe like that. Yeah,
not bad.
Genuinely not sure I've seen that.
But it really, there's just not a lot of choice, and it's too bad. But I get why it's so different. We were talking just last week about how Trick or Treat is legit one of the best
werewolf
stories iterations we have, especially for modern cinema. Yeah,
check out a couple like more modern movies over the past few years that came out: Werewolves Within and The Wolf of Snow Hollow. Both pretty solid werewolf movies.
Yeah,
worth checking.
But even though Wolf of Snow Hollow, it has to kind of be clever about it a little bit.
That is very true. Yeah.
So yeah,
you've got The Howling.
The Howling Dude.
Silver Bullet is a fun one.
We also covered that one. Yeah,
we did.
I don't know about that one.
There's one that's set in New York.
Jesus, Palomino.
That's from the 80s that I'm blanking on the name of. That's really good. I'll see if I can find it.
One thing too, I mean, I don't think that they're able to explore in this one. That's always the interesting aspect, or can be an interesting aspect of the werewolf, is the kind of push and pull, of we only get one transformation from him, right? It's not like he's living through this. He's not even sure if it's going to happen. And he's just kind of worried about it happening, and then it happens, and then he's dead. So we don't get that kind of almost Jekyll and Hyde, I guess, kind of aspect, which they already had, to be fair, a Jekyll and Hyde going on in this universe.
It's a similar kind of vibe, though. It thematically, anyways. Yeah. Wolfen was the movie I was thinking of from 1981. Solid, if you haven't seen that. Good shit. Yeah.
All right.
Any other points we want to touch on before we rate this thing?
That's probably good enough.
I think we did it. We done did the thing.
Let's do it out of 5. I forgot who went first last, so I'm just going to say Randy. Go for it. How do you feel?
Great. Yeah, like I said, I did enjoy myself more with this movie, and that's going to influence where it lands. There's definitely flaws with this thing, and it's like I said, this feels more like a monster movie in the sense of like a beastly monster movie than the other ones in the Universal Monsters canon, and that's just usually not my bag. Werewolves generally are usually not my bag.
More of a van
and
boy,
so for it to have gotten me as happy with it as it did is an accomplishment in and of itself. Its reputation being what it is, it's originating so much in there, and being sort of a complete story with like a pretty interesting end. It has a lot going for it, but it's not a perfect movie by any means in my mind. And I think that it's really my enjoyment of it that pushes it over Invisible Man in my ranking tonight. So I'm going to say 3.5.
Whoa.
This one definitely does have some flex room, maybe another viewing. Like the last two, Frankenstein is kind of like an entire other world. I kind of had a pre-existing feeling about it that wasn't going to change probably. There wasn't a whole lot of new information for me to take into account. But with these two movies, Invisible Man and Wolfman, first-time viewings, both of them have room to go up or down. I think that for now, it's a 3.5 for Wolfman.
3.5 from your boy Rand Diesel. Juice, how do you feel?
Yeah, I like this one the least of the 3, but it still had some decent stuff going for it. Again, the vibes were cool. Some of the settings were cool. Even like this kind of town, and I kind of wish we got to spend a little bit more time with the dynamics of like the town. We get some like gossiping people, and we get to kind of see what kind of power this family has a little bit. Kind of wish we had a little bit more of it. And we get, a ton of werewolf lore that's interesting, and a full story arc, even if like I'm not crazy about the characters that we're following. But I just didn't really like Larry that much. I didn't find him a particularly interesting character to follow or feel bad for. And the dynamic with the woman and her being engaged was strange. I don't think it really added anything. Like, I don't really know what that adds.
So it's a contention with the game master who works for you and also is hunting you. It's a weird,
but it didn't really do any. Like the push and pull with the dad makes sense. Like that absolutely makes sense and is important. Oh.
I think you could see so you meet Larry. He comes into town like hot and heavy beelines for this woman, and I think you could say like, well, he is allowing himself to regress to his more base animal instincts. Like, doesn't actually matter what this woman is telling him to his face over and over again, he is going to have her because it's what he wants.
But she acts on it too.
Kind of. I mean, she does eventually go out, but
She's
like
charmed.
she brings a friend and
Yeah.
like I don't know, she actually does go back to her fiance and I don't know. I think that's probably what the movie's trying to do, like show you this side of him and then have it reflect when he transforms into the werewolf.
Bob, are you saying that he's a beastly, bulging man? Is that what you're saying about Larry?
Beastly.
My thoughts could be interpreted that way. Yes.
I believe that's what you're saying.
He's got a bulge.
Yeah. This is going to be my lowest ranked one for the night. I'm going to do a little flip around with Randy, and I'm going to give this one a 3.
Okay.
A 3. Unbelievable.
So, Bob, wrap us up. This is the last one for the night. Where are you going to rate it?
This is my favorite of the night, actually. So, yeah, for whatever reason, this feels like a more whole and like satisfying story for me. Even though Larry isn't maybe the most likable character, I don't know that he's really supposed to be. And I think there's a lot of like ways to interpret this movie. It doesn't necessarily like drive anything home. And to my knowledge, this is not based on a previous novel like the other two movies we talked about. So I don't know. It feels a little fresh in my mind too. Like I'm watching this and I'm able to sort of like enjoy it for what it is and not have like all these other references and stuff like Frankenstein or Dracula like sort of running through my mind as I watch it. But I think the characters are drawn well enough. I really like the vibe of this small town, the idea of this guy coming home in like this small town sort of wrecking his life. The Romani camp, like all the shots in the woods with the low-lying fog, all of that just like really works for me. And like the idea of his father, like the movie starting with his father having lost a son in a hunting accident and ending with him murdering his only surviving son. It does feel like a complete arc. It feels like this is like a real lived in town with like a lot of character and layers that you can read into if you so desire. And I like the look of the werewolf and like the inventiveness of the transformation scene. There's just a lot of stuff that I really dig about this. It feels like way more satisfying to watch as a whole than a lot of these other Universal monster movies to me. So, I like it. 5. It's a 5 like, from your boy Bob.
Oh, it's a 5.
Yeah.
Damn.
Wow, Bob.
Like, see, I think like I kind of agree that like as in terms of my viewing experience for the 3, I think this was my favorite viewing experience of this particular like endeavor to watch the 3 movies for this triple feature. And I the only reason it's not Frankenstein, because it is clearly superior in artistic means and in a lot of other ways, is because I'm so familiar with it. This one felt like a blind spot that was being fulfilled in a way that was enjoyable. So I kind of agree with you on that level.
Yeah.
Kind of how I felt about Invisible Man 2 years ago. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Okay.
Yeah.
It's nice to watch some of these sort of lesser known Universal monsters. I mean, they're all very well known, but like, things that haven't been riffed on a million times in the exact
It's less
way.
iconic of the iconics.
Less iconic. Yeah. This one just really works for me. So it's this is going to put our aggregate at a 3.8 for the Wolfman. Let's jump over to our Rotten Tomatoes segment, see what the critics and users have to say.
Certified fresh to death.
I am your boy Randy running the Maters tonight. Y'all know how to play the game. I am not going to repeat the rules. Randy, I'm going to let you kick this one off. We're starting with the critics, the tomatometer. There are 45 reviews only. It's a very low number. Out of 100, what do you think?
Man, I just don't even know. I'm bad at this. So I don't know, man. Wolfman, I'll just stick with the wager I made last time. I'm going to say 80. Wait, no, that was what I gave for users. I'll say 85. I'll say 85.
85 from Rand Diesel Juice. How do you feel?
85. I still think this is going to be higher. I think all these classics, people just give a lot of, especially critics give a lot of flex too. So I'm going to go 90.
Okay.
90.
Little chance for a tie.
All right. Well, your boy Juice is going to take that one. He is 1% away. It is 91%.
Whoa, that's elite.
That
All
is
right. Got to match Bob
Randy,
here. Can't let
you got one more shot. One more shot for glory.
I'm gonna guess 0.
I love it. That shit's so funny.
Guess higher than that. I'll give you a hint, buddy. It's higher than that.
3.
Juice, why don't you kick us off here for the audience score? There are over 10,000 ratings. That's a little more like it. How do you feel out of 100?
10,000. This is gonna dip. They all dipped. I feel like on the audience score. So 91. How low is this one gonna go? I'll take a 82.
Juice with an 80 deuce. Randy, how do you feel?
Well, perfect number for me to choose is the one I was gonna mimic from last time for users, which is 80, and it also gives us a chance at a tie. So let's go.
Well, we do have a ringy ding on this round, gentlemen.
Congrats.
Randy's redemption with an 80%.
Ringy ding,
My
Randy.
perfect, terrible
Ringy
record is
ding.
ruined.
Ringy ding for Randy.
Ringy ding, Randy.
Fuck.
That's what they call him. What is it? It's a hell what? What's your hell?
Lead?
It is hell.
Hell! Just leave it at that. All right, then. Where's the critics' consensus for The Wolf Mang, 1941? A handsomely told tale with an affecting performance from Lon Chaney Jr., The Wolf Man remains one of the classics of the Universal Horror stable. Duh. That's not really saying much. Here is a negative review I have found from a top critic out of Australia. Lon Chaney Jr. has his first big role as the Wolfman, but it would take a genius to get away with this role. I don't know what the fuck get away with this role.
I don't know what that means either. I think he got away with it. Nobody stopped him. He didn't go to jail. So
yeah, he got away with
he's
it.
still on the prowl, as I understand.
All right, that's
Haunting
the
the
only
moors.
negative that I see that's actually written out, and it was stupid, so I'm not going to read anymore. Boys, we got some trivia for the Wolfman. Let's do it.
It's totally time for trivia.
It's totally time for trivia. The little poem, here you go. The little poem they say throughout the movie over and over again is, even a man who is pure in heart and says his prayers by night may become a wolf when the wolfbane blooms and the autumn moon is bright. Yeah, like I said, that I think that's really just sort of, again, getting to that like more baser animalistic instinct that's within humans that sometimes we act upon and it ain't right.
Well, I've got a little beast in us, boys? Sometimes, you just got to go out and howl at the moon.
Some of us want a little more, am I right?
Sometimes you just gotta get your nut, you know what I'm saying?
I guess so.
Yeah, you could put it that way, I suppose.
Here we go gathering nuts in May, nuts in May, nuts in May.
I saw one blurb on this saying like maybe this movie's just about puberty. I don't think it's quite as simple as that, but like, he grows a bunch of hair and wants to bang. Like, I don't really know.
But he's also a
mitzvah.
Spooky
scary. He's also a grown man.
He sure is.
He's like a 50-year-old puberty boy. I guess.
We can't all be as lucky as Randy, just covered in hair at the age of 12 or whatever.
You know?
Well, I didn't know about Randy's 12-year-old hair.
We were talking about it about 3 hours ago.
Bob looks close. We'll just say that. He's watching pretty closely for the hair.
You know me. Jack P. Pierce, again. Second time we're mentioning him this night.
Nice.
He achieved the Wolfman's iconic makeup primarily with a rubber nose and yak hair, which was singed with a curling iron and attached to Lon Chaney Jr.'s face, arms, legs, etc. with spirit gum. Took about 6 hours to apply, 3 hours to get off. Lon Chaney Jr. did not enjoy the makeup process, which I feel like nobody does. Yada yada yada. There's a quote about him complaining that is not interesting. Evelyn Ankers had difficulty working with Lon Chaney Jr. Apparently, he's maybe a bit of a bastard man. Already angry at Ankers because she was given his dressing room. The studio was apparently punishing him for vandalizing studio property while he was wasted. The actor constantly would irritate her, nicknaming her Shankers, referencing like a shank, and then a shanker being someone who would stab you on the back with a shank, which is like a homemade knife, if you're unaware. He would also play like shitty little practical jokes where he would sneak up on her in his full makeup and like jump out and scare her. So,
boy, sounds like a bastard.
A grown man, or was he not, Juice?
Sounds like an alpha to me. Alpha wolf. Wolf man.
Totally. So, according to the documentary on the recent Wolfman DVD collection, the brand new DVD of the Wolfman.
I'm reading something. Go on.
Randy. The script for the Wolfman was apparently influenced by writer Kurt Siodmak's, I know I'm butchering that one, his experience in Nazi Germany. Siodmak had been living a normal life in Germany only to have it thrown into chaos, and himself on the run when the Nazis took control, just as Larry Talbot finds his normal life thrown into chaos and himself on the run once he's turned into a werewolf. Also, the Wolfman himself can be seen as a metaphor for the Nazis and otherwise good man who was transformed into a vicious killing animal who knows who his next victim is when he sees the symbol of a pentagram or a star on their palm. So that's an interesting kind of interpretation. I don't know that the movie really supports that interpretation necessarily, but I guess you can read it that way.
I mean, yeah, you can read it any way you want.
Yeah,
so,
sure.
But that is interesting. There's a lot of that happening, obviously artists having to escape a fascist dictatorship. So and
apparently
I don't know, it is interesting that that's part of this
movie premiered 2 days after Pearl Harbor, which is another interesting tie-in to the war.
Damn, dude, not a great time for a movie to come out.
Damn. Probably a very low attendance for this one. This is the last bit of trivia I have here. Evelyn Ankers later recalled during the filming of the final confrontation, she was required to faint and then stay on the floor until the fight scene between Lon Chaney Jr. and Claude Rains was finished. Ankers recalled that during the one take, she stayed on the floor so long with a low-hanging chemical fog being used in the scene that it caused her to pass out. When the take was over, the film crew began rearranging the cameras and lights for the next take. Not noticing that Ankers had not emerged from the floor, finally someone on the crew realized she was missing, and they pulled her up and revived her. So,
God damn.
Yeah.
Jesus
Back in the
Christ.
day, man, there's some shady shit.
For real, dude.
Chemical fog.
It was not even 10 years before this that one of the original Tin Man died of lead poisoning. They just slapped lead on his fucking ass. So.
God damn.
That is.
And they put fucking what's her name? Dorothy Gale, whatever that actress's name on Judy Garland on fucking on fat pills or something. Whatever those
speed
diet pills. Yeah, speed. Yeah, essentially. Just go ahead and get addicted to pills. That'll wear off those baby.
Child, you're too fat for this role.
That'll hey, you 16-year-old fat ass.
So why don't
take
you
some
go ahead
speed.
And take this drugs.
You want to be famous, don't you?
God damn.
God damn.
That's
do not. I'm already famous.
That is oh yeah. That's all the trivia we got. Let's go ahead and do one big fat cooter of the week.
Straight chillin'. Cooter of the week.
Juice, what is a cooter and why do we hunt them?
Cooter's a character type and a straight chillin'. Exclusive. Cooter has to hit 3 of these 5 points to be considered a Cooter, but we want the Cooter with the most points. 5 points of Cooterdom are sexual deviance, manipulation, smug arrogance, overall look and attire, and overall patheticness. Boys, are some of these universal monsters, universal Cooters? What do you think?
I mean, the fucking Invisible Man, for the love.
It's a bastard, man.
God.
I will say though, here's what I think. I think
he's misunderstood.
I think he's actually kind of a good guy. No,
he's probably the best of them.
One thing I was going to say though, as far as hunting for Cooters, is he is invisible, but I don't think there's anything that he does that's specifically sexually deviant, unlike our boy Hollow Mang.
Yeah,
dude, that's
Hollow
all
Mang
he
is
does.
the bastard.
That's the only thing he does.
That's the only thing. So
somebody
am I
saw
right
this movie
in
and was like,
that?
"Why isn't he molesting people? I don't understand."
If
If
movie
I was
all about
invisible, I would definitely.
That's
No,
all
I
I
would
do.
never stop molesting if I was invisible.
So that's he doesn't do anything sexually deviant, right?
I don't think so. Yeah, yeah.
No,
Fair point.
I don't think
You
there's
know
anything
what?
sexual in any of these movies. Like,
You know, Larry might.
I mean,
be
yeah,
our-
Wolfman is...
okay, yeah, okay, no, that's fair. That's fair.
but
it's like it's pretty low lying.
Yeah.
But we'll go back to Invisible
Sexual
Mang
deviant.
first. So smug arrogance. He just wants a reign of terror. He just wants to roll over people.
How about that reign of terror? Well, let's go for that.
You know what we should do?
Really go for a reign of
Reign
terror.
of terror.
Yeah. It's been too long.
So smug arrogance. Overall patheticness. I don't think so. He's pretty in control for most of it. He's just kind of doing as he pleases.
He does not strike me as pathetic.
In control is not the way I would describe it, but at
Well,
least-
I mean, having
he's doing what he wants,
achieving his
without-
will. Yeah.
yeah.
So manipulation. Yeah, he's manipulating
Oh
Kemp.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Kemp is he's just like demanding him.
You're going to
trying
help
to
me
make him his
murder some
reek.
folks. Yeah.
Yeah. And looking attire though, he's looking pretty fly.
For an invisible guy.
Yeah, I don't know how to... He looks cool in the
invisible.
bandages, but if you saw
bandage-
someone
it's a
like
cool
that in
attire.
real life, you'd be like, "What the fuck?" It would freak you out. Like, yeah, but it's iconic. Yeah,
Pretty.
I mean,
cool.
what else is he gonna wear? He's like, that's
Yeah.
the thing.
I mean,
I don't know.
he rocks the
Yeah.
shirt cock for a minute, which is
The shirt cock.
yeah. He just has a shirt on and nothing else. Yeah, shirt cock in it.
the
Oh,
Donald
he
Duck.
goes Winnie the Pooh style. Okay.
He does.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just pounding
So,
mustard instead of honey.
I don't know. He's not hitting enough, is he?
I don't know. He's got two solid.
Too solid.
yeah.
Let's see if anybody else comes.
Why don't we go to
close.
old Henry real quick?
Henry
Oh,
Frankenstein.
Henry Frankenstein?
Yeah,
Smug arrogance. I would say yes.
completely.
Yeah.
He
You know,
thinks he's
he
God.
knows what
He
it's
is
like to be
God,
God and all that.
Yeah.
We've all been there.
we-
So smug arrogance, manipulation. Does he try to manipulate anybody though? He's kind of pretty straight up about it, isn't he?
He is robbing graves and like stealing body parts out of laboratories, and I
he
mean,
doesn't manipulate to make that happen.
Yeah, he doesn't like she's not tricking
he's a
anybody. He's
thief.
just a thief. Yeah, but he's not like
I see your point, but yeah, I think
he's not talking anybody into it.
Yeah,
Or
I
he's
guess
not like
not.
trying
Tough one to-
to.
Well, I mean,
tough one to pin
He's
on.
if we saw him like talking to some grave digger or something, trying to like pay him off or something, then maybe.
when
but-
the other doctor, like his teacher, Wagner, whatever his fucking name is, I can't remember his name now.
Baldwin.
He like does kind of try and talk him
Baldwin.
into it, and then he ends up trying to do an autopsy. I don't know. Maybe I'm reaching for that one, but
yeah,
No, I think you have a point though. Like, but I think that speaks more to patheticness because what he does is they decide, you know what, this was a bad idea after all. Just hey, doctor, go ahead and kill this thing.
Yeah,
for
go
me.
ahead and take care.
I gotta
of
go
this.
get
Yeah, he
married.
is a little pathetic,
He does
and
peace out, yeah.
he like passes out or something. He just can't handle all the pressure and doesn't take care of it himself.
Can't even handle the pressure of being God. What a little bitch.
I know it's not that hard. Okay,
It's just being God. What's it like?
all you have to do is
Big deal.
dominate.
You gotta go out on the howl at the moon every now and then. You
gotta channel your inner Larry.
Oh God.
There you go.
I think he's pathetic. I think he's pathetic.
So.
So smug arrogance, patheticness.
Looking attire, not so much.
Looking attire, and we didn't really hit manipulation, not really sexual deviance.
How are we not gonna have a Cooter in either?
I know. Well, let's go to Larry now.
Let's go to Larry. He might be the best chance at a Cooter here.
Larry, there are times he's got the smug arrogance, I would say. It's very sure
when he's laying his Mac down, yeah, but any other time he's not really, yeah.
Yeah.
Laying his Mac down, yeah.
His dirty Mac down.
It is a dirty Mac.
Now you kids like your Mac. Extra dirty.
Extra. I don't like that.
Looking attire, I mean...
Oh man!
Especially when you brought the kids in.
I know how you grown-ass adults like your Mac.
There you go. That's fine.
How do we feel about the looking attire? Because and normally he's normal, but
he's wearing suits.
Counting the wolf
he's not a
form.
He's wearing suits and he's got a cane, and that cane's pretty slick, I guess. Yeah,
the cane's sick. Even though he doesn't actually use it as a cane, he just kind of holds it like a...
It's his regulator. He just beats the shit out of things with it.
He holds it like a shillelagh. It's crazy.
I like, too, because, we get the silver bullet thing a lot. Silver. I kind of like the twist that he just beat the shit out of it with a silver cane. That's pretty badass.
Or silver knife, she says.
Yeah.
See, that's a true alpha wolf right there. He just steps up with his regulator.
Alpha wolf here.
Wearing a suit and his regulator. Yeah.
Yep. So, patheticness, I would say he reaches pathetic levels sometimes. I think he gets quite pathetic sometimes.
I don't know if I feel that.
No?
He's kind of a dummy, but
he's pretty dumb.
I feel like he's kind of going through it, but yeah, he is dumb, but
it's I don't know. Also too, okay, patheticness is giving the cure to your ailment and immediately giving it away.
He's questioning if any of it is even true at the time, though.
I know, but why not just wear it? Then just wear it.
It doesn't. It's not his vibe.
Oh my God! It's not as cool as
he's got a vibe to maintain, Justin.
He's a man.
Have you not thought of the vibes?
Town.
You didn't want to hit looking attire, So.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe there's no. Are we not going to have any Cooter day? I'm pretty surprised Invisible Meg didn't hit it on us.
Super surprised. Man. I thought that was going to be a slam dunk, actually.
Yeah. I guess back in the 30s they weren't sure about the Cooters yet.
What about Maria, the little girl that likes throwing flowers in the lake?
Yeah.
She's pretty pathetic.
We got her.
Manipulative.
We got her.
She can't even swim.
Lord knows she's a deviant.
Yeah, I don't know, boys. We might
maybe all the dads in this are fucking Cooters.
Dads, fathers are the Cooter. Actually,
wait, who's the other? Oh, the dad of Frankenstein.
Yeah. He's a problem.
Yeah.
He's so weirdly aloof. It's fucking weird.
He's kind of he's
like, well, my son almost died. Let's drink to the future of the family. What the fuck?
But don't give it to the help. It was also weird how they all come in and they're like, we thought you might like your wine, Mr. Frankenstein. It's like, what the fuck?
You thought right.
Lady.
Well, thank you. That was a great idea, and I'll beat you for it later. I am a monster.
Yeah, I don't know, boys. I guess there's no Cooter this week, this Halloween season.
Only Dracula was around.
Yeah.
Oh, Fritz!
Oh, Fritz. Good call, Randy.
Dude.
Fritz is
I don't know if there's enough screen time for him, but what a fucking pathetic little reek of a boy.
Smug arrogance, one. As he's just taunting the monster for no reason. He's just being a dick.
Just a mean little shit.
Fucking a good call, Randy. I think he's
totally
going to hit
pathetic.
it. Very pathetic.
He's just on a number of levels.
Almost every. Yeah. So he's pathetic. smug arrogance and manipulation. He doesn't tell Frankenstein that he takes the
About the
criminal
brain?
brain. Yeah.
Yeah, he also is incompetent as shit. If that's not a Cooter thing.
Looking
It
at
is
tire.
something to say.
I mean,
yeah. Put Fritz in the fucking pokey.
That sounds solid.
Fritz, we got him. Good call, Randy.
You got him.
Saved
We almost
the-
made a
saved the
huge
week.
error.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god, we almost let a Cooter run
People
the
are about
streets
to
unabated.
call in and just
I know.
laugh at us.
Take our
for
Cooter Hunter
incompetence.
card.
They're all gonna laugh at us.
But we got him. Fritz, good call. Good
Boys
call.
are idiots. You ruined Halloween. Cool. We got him. Lock him up. Throw away the key.
All right.
I
right.
don't think we're gonna have time for voicemails. Unfortunately, we got like 4 of them this week too.
Wow, okay.
But we'll save
But
them
we
for
do have a
next
time
week.
limit. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll save them for next week. It is a triple feature show, so
Can only record 3 hours. Sorry.
can only do what we
We're
can
just
do. So
assholes to elbows in here.
Bam.
yeah, hope you guys are having a very happy Halloween. Hopefully you had a chance to watch some of these classic Universal monster movies and sort of join
Yeah,
us
what you
on this
think,
ride.
boys? Good picks from me, right? I brought some unique
I mean, it's
classics to the.
Yeah, nobody ever thinks to watch
podcast.
the Universal monster movie.
We didn't for
During
12 years. We
Halloween.
didn't for 12
Nobody- oh, and we
years.
never
boys.
thought about it once
So we
either. It's never come up before.
saying, you know, it's a good representation from Soju.
We've done 4 of them now, so like half of the primary 8. Anyway,
I actually did start rewatching Bride as well. And, I was too tired to finish it, but
I've still never seen.
I'd like to knock them all out.
I've still never seen Bride or The Mummy all the way through. Those are the 2.
Oh,
Same.
I didn't finish The Mummy yet, so maybe. Yeah,
From what I
maybe. It was
understand, The
just
Mummy
too
isn't
hot.
much of a horror movie, honestly. Like,
Really?
at least that first
It
one.
started off very similar to like the Mummy remake.
Yeah,
kind of
but I
vibes.
just like I
Brendan
haven't
Fraser,
seen it, but
just-
like just from reputation, I've heard that first one is not what you expect from Mummy movies. Like it's not like it's not the Frankenstein's monster of lore. It's just it's a proto Mummy.
Proto Mummy.
But I don't know that for sure.
So we're going to be back next week with a brand new show. As always, we're talking about the last You Pick the Flick of the Year. This one was chosen by your boy Naderade. The movie is everybody's favorite, Heartland of Darkness from 2022.
Be prepared to be bedazzled.
This one,
I'm prepared to be bedazzled.
this one is on Tubi, so if you want to check it out, you can watch it on Tubi for free. Heartland of Darkness. Watch it, I guess. I don't know.
I guess
I don't have high hopes for this because Naderade, he's a bastard man who has chosen a terrible film for us to talk about intentionally. So we shall see.
It was right under our noses.
Let me
all
come
along.
up with the shtick to save this show.
Save us.
I'm gonna save it.
Oh,
Don't you
no.
worry.
We need
I'm gonna
saving.
save it.
Save us. Yeah. If call in for next week, 904-638-3231. We'll just do mostly a show where we listen to voicemails and not really talk about this shitty ass movie. Let's do that. We'll do like 12 voicemails next week. Let us know how your Halloween season went. What was your favorite part of this year's Halloween season? What's some cool shit you did? Let us know.
Pumpkins.
Hit us up, 904-638-3231. Heartland of Darkness next week. Hope you guys are having a lovely, lovely Halloween. And until next week, as always, everybody, please keep chilling.
Here we go gathering nuts in May, nuts in May, nuts in May.